everyone, and welcome back to our cozy modded longplay world, Bloom Valley, where we're building in a giant flower forest crater that has a lake in the middle. In the last episode, we built up this brand new enchanting tower, which you kind of cannot really see from this angle, so let me go ahead and just free cam here a little bit. But as you can see, we built up an awesome amethyst tower, and luckily for me, I've been getting a ton of use out of that in between episodes, but I have 42 levels that I would like to actually use right now, as you can see down on my hotbar. And that's just because I'm a little bit sick of using iron gear down in the caves. My pants have broken. As you can see, I have changed over to the ones that we got from the ancient city. So today I would like to upgrade to all diamond armor and get that all enchanted up to match the pants. I've also swapped over to the diamond hoe we got down in the ancient city because our hoe is low. And in between episodes, I have been enchanting my tools like wild. Now, none of them are completely perfect. I've just been trying to get some baseline enchantments, and as you can see in my backpack, I also have a Fortune 3 pickaxe, which took me so long to get. And then over here, I have a couple of pickaxes. I did actually combine a couple to give this efficiency 5 and breaking 3 pickaxe, but it's basically destroyed, so you'll have to get some mending for that or repair it with some diamonds at some point. Another thing I did was that I actually made an anvil upgrade for our backpack, so I can combine things in an anvil in the backpack, and I don't think it breaks. If we wanted to go ahead and combine some stuff in the anvil, it's as easy as grabbing like our sword here and then the enchanted book, and then we could put sharpness 5 on this sword if we wanted to. But I'm not going to do that right now because the other enchants on the sword are just fire aspect. It's not that good. But I have never made this anvil upgrade before, and it's definitely so worth it. I'm really happy that I made that, so it'll be here as an option for when we need it. But let's go ahead. We're going to craft up some armor here, our diamond armor. So we've got the chest, and we need a helmet and some shoes. And while we're in here, I just want to see what we can get on the enchantment table, so we can go ahead and grab some of our lapis, and let's see what we're going to get. So protection 3 on the chest plate, not bad. Unbreaking on the boots and blast protection on the helmet. I think we'll go for protection 3, which is perfect. Respiration on the helmet or unbreaking on the boots, we'll go for respiration. Ooh, fire protection, that's not that great. And on the boots, just depth strider, which is not that great since we do have a depth strider book already. I'd like to get feather falling over depth strider if possible, but we can just try that again. Protection 3, depth strider 3, and unbreaking 3. Okay, so of course we get depth strider again, but that's actually a way better roll than it was previously, so I'm happy with that. So there we are. We've got our brand new diamond armor on, and I'm sure what you're asking yourself now is, Frogcrafting, how did you get all these levels? And well, I do have something to show you guys. In between episodes, I was actually looking in some caves and stuff around here because I was looking for a spawner, as I mentioned at the end of last episode. And what I found actually was right over here. It's pretty close by to our, enchanting tower, which is kind of nice. So if we just go down over here. Hello, horse. I cannot forget that I want to name our horse today because you guys had a lot of really great name suggestions for the horses last time. But anyways, as I was saying, I was kind of looking at all different kinds of little cave entrances and looking for spawners that way because I was just not really sure if I was going to find one nearby or if I was going to have to go all the way down to like deep slate level. But in this hole over here, now it is closed off now, but I did find what I was looking for, which is kind of lucky because it's right over near our enchanting area, as I mentioned, and I am falling all the way down. This is kind of embarrassing. Anyways, the whole spawner area is a little bit bare bones. I have not really decorated it that much besides putting in the walls and some lighting and stuff. And if we can go down this elevator here, yeah, there we go. As you can see, it is pretty bare bones. Although you will notice that I have gone to the nether because there is some crimson wood in here. I actually do think I like the banding that we got though with the nether wart block and the stripped crimson. And I have some more growing here just in case I need more. I think I might build with that today. And also I am planning on doing a live stream pretty soon to actually decorate this whole area because it's a little bit too bare bones for my liking. Since we're using this elevator block, we can just jump up and be instantly teleported up and not have to worry about stairs. And I think I want to build in this area today and make a little house with kind of like the XP farm kind of integrated into it. So that way it's a little bit easier to find and not as chaotic looking out here. And I think we will also not have to be scared of creepers lurking in the darkness in the woods because that's been pretty scary when I've been building the XP farm so far. So let's go over and grab our horse. We've got to grab a couple of materials back over at the house. And I think I also want to take a little bit of a trip into the nether to grab some more crimson. We can maybe do a little bit of farming in there. Plus, it's been quite a while, so I don't remember exactly everything that I have showed you guys in this world since I've been kind of away, but I don't think I have shown you guys the stuff I worked on. I worked on some pathways over by the main base, and I did that on a live stream here on YouTube, and I want to show you guys those as well because I just like to share the stuff that we do in between episodes. It makes me happy. We've also passed the 100-day mark in this world. We're officially on day 103 right now, so we are coming along here pretty well. I am doing this a little bit slower than I normally would do for 100 days, but I'm still proud of everything that we have done, and I haven't played too much in between episodes. I just got the XP farm done and some of the enchanting done that you saw earlier with the tools that I was showing you guys. Still need to work on the pathways in between the barn and the XP farm / enchanting area, but I will get that done in between episodes probably. We made a little bit of progress over here as well in the live stream. We added another terrace crop area that has a melon and pumpkin aspect to it. And then down here past the horse's little head there is a sugarcane one as well. So that's where our sugarcane is now officially growing. And if we follow this pathway in front of the barn here, we can come to our new official pathway over here through the old tree farm area. So we've got like a little bit of a well and a bucket and a wheelbarrow. And this path curves all the way around in front of the starter house that we made out in episode 1. And I'm just really happy with how this all looks and how it connects up. It actually came out so adorable and I'm very proud of it. And I don't normally show you guys my map, but I am going to show you my map right now because I think it looks so good on the map, the way it kind of curves around. Not to mention all of our terrace crops. I mean, they do look a little bit weird because of like the way that they're cut off there, but they look so cool as well. And just zooming out here, as you can see over here is where our enchanting tower is. And then our new XP farm is kind of over here in this like little middle section. And eventually I'd like to link up where our XP farm is going to be with a pathway through the forest to the barn. And then probably also one around the other side of the lake and kind of make like a big main road around the lake. And that way we can easily link up anything else that we build around the main pathway that goes around the lake, which is awesome. And I think overall it's going to really go well together once we get the docks in as well, because you'll have kind of like this main road around the docks with the docks as well. I don't know, I just really like that idea. Anyways, okay, before we do anything else today, I want to tell you guys about a little thing that I also did in between episodes. Wait, oh my gosh, I still have the lapis in my backpack. I forgot to put it back, and I forgot to put this other stack of lapis back too. I'm a mess. Anyways, I went to a jungle biome for the first time. I found one actually right near spawn over here. So I want to plant up some bamboo just in case I need scaffolding for anything. Or maybe this will finally be the series where I use some Mizuno's bamboo wood in a build. But honestly, I have no idea. I don't really have any of these builds planned out before I do them, so we will see. Anyways, finally getting into what we're actually going to do today. We are going to start with going to the Nether, and that's because I want to go ahead and grab a bunch of crimson wood. I think I want to stick with the crimson wood for the build that we're going to be doing today, just so that it kind of matches the XP farm below. And I have made a safety tunnel to the crimson biome in between episodes, so we are relatively safe going in here. Relatively. Can I just ask, why is it so loud every single time you come out of a Nether portal? What is the point of that loud noise? I mean, obviously it's magical and you transcended dimensions and stuff. This is the way we go, by the way. I made a little stone pathway for us. But why is that so loud? I am just a girl that gets overstimulated, and I probably need to widen this little pathway that I found here. But if we go down here, then we can just kind of follow my little breadcrumb trail of torches and blocks. And we can go right over here where I started digging out our safety tunnel. And if you guys know me, if you've been around on this channel for a while, you know that a safety tunnel in the Nether is one of my favorite things to make because it is just so necessary. Because the Nether is scary. I'm sorry, it is. Not only do you have the looming threat of falling into lava constantly, but also the gas. For me, it's really the gas. I mean, the piglins a little bit, but definitely the gas are kind of scary. And I don't have a bow. So we have a safety tunnel that could still spawn piglins, but I found out something interesting. So my backpack is upgraded to gold, and for some reason with this mod, with a gold backpack, the piglins don't mess with you even if you're not wearing gold. They like accept the backpack as the gold, which is really cool. I don't know if I've ever played another mod that has that type of thing, like the, you know, gold armor trims or something to make the piglins ignore you, but I just wanted to point that out because I think that is really cool. Also, just while we're walking through this hallway here, I just want to say I'm sorry that a video hasn't come out in a while. I'm currently recording this at the end of July. I don't know when this video will come out because life has just been so busy in real life for me. And I know life is busy for everyone right now. But I just wanted to say, I don't know when exactly I will be uploading this video because August is going to be a pretty jam-packed month for me. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm currently waiting on a decision about my permit. So my permit expired and I had to renew it as part of my citizenship stuff. So it has been kind of like in limbo for a couple of months and it's been a little bit stressful, I won't lie. And before we go too much more into that, we are here in the Crimson biome. So see, it's not too bad. Just a little bit of a journey through the safety tunnel, and let's just grab some of this crimson wood. And I'm probably going to yap the whole time because being in the nether is not very comfy cozy, especially the crimson biome, which is very scary, especially with like the hoglins and stuff. But anyways, yeah, so I've been waiting for a decision from the government about my permit while I'm still taking my class and still working on my general citizenship stuff. But since I'm a chronic overworrier, I do, well, have a lot of worry about this not happening already. So I'm still waiting to hear back. I've had a bunch of appointments that I've had to go to and just a bunch of other things that I've had to do for my permit. But I know that in the end, it'll all be okay. I know legally I'm in the clear and I'm just, yeah, waiting for them to give me a new one now. But other than that, everything with my little break is going relatively good. I am still doing my language learning class. I am learning Dutch. For those of you who may be new to the channel or not know, I am learning Dutch because I live in the Netherlands. And it's going a little bit slower than I would have liked at the 3-month mark, but I am trying to give myself grace here because, well, I mean, as you get older, things get harder to learn. And especially, you know, language has always been a little bit difficult for me to learn. So yeah, I mean, I'm still proud of myself for making any progress. Outside of that, life has been okay. We've had some loss this summer, which we've been dealing with as a family. It's been a little bit hard, not to make it sad or anything, but I tend to yap during these, kind of like you're catching up with an old friend, so apologies. But yeah, we had a loss this summer, which was a little bit tough for the family, and it's just been kind of like taking it day by day, you know? But yeah, not to get too real, sorry if that was upsetting for anyone. I just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just needed to mention that because that was kind of something that was kind of weighing on me this summer. It has not been a hot girl summer for me. I'm not gonna lie. It has not been a hot girl summer for me, but I'm still enjoying it for the most part. Anyways, changing topics away from sad and too real and personal things. In today's episode, like I said, I want to make a cottage on top of our XP farm, but it's not just going to be a cottage on top of the XP farm. I would really like to use a mod today that I have never used before, and that is going to be the Easy Mob Farms mod. So you guys may have noticed that as we've killed mobs in this world, that we've had these little cards drop. So we have a creeper card, skeleton, even cows and salmon and stuff. And you can actually make these machines that will extract drops from the cards based on the mob that it is. So for creepers, you're going to get gunpowder. For spiders, you're going to get string and all that kind of stuff. So inside the cottage that we're going to build today over the XP farm, I want to set up a bunch of these mini mob farms. So that way, when we're in that area, we're grabbing XP, mending our tools once we get mending and all that stuff. That will be also producing mob drops that we can use to craft decorations and, you know, other things that we might need in this world passively, because I love that idea. And I think that's going to give our episode a lot of balance here because we're going to figure out a mod that we've never used before together, and we're also going to, you know, build something, which will be really, really cute. Oh, and I was going to mention as well, you can even get iron golem like cards as well, or you can capture them. There's like a way that you can build like this mob capturing device. I don't know exactly what the recipe is. I guess we could look it up in our EMI here. So if we do easy mob farms here, then we can get this binding crystal. And that's actually not that expensive. We would just need some gas tiers. But that thing can capture iron golems from what I know, and then we don't have to kill them to get the cards. But that will have to wait for a later time because I don't have a bow yet. I need to get one and I want to get it enchanted and everything, which we can probably do like after this episode is done. But yeah, I just prefer a bow when I'm dealing with gas over trying to hit the fireballs with my sword. I just feel more consistent with a bow, even, you know, deflecting the fireballs with a bow. But anyways, we've got just over 2 stacks of wood, and we have some stuff growing back at the base as well. So I think that we're probably good to get out of here for now. And while we're running back through here, I will take a moment and just say, I hope that your summer's going well. If it's not summer for you, I hope your season is going well. Because I don't know what season it is for you if it's not summer. But yeah, it's been an okay summer for me. Just a lot of ups and downs, a lot of studying, a lot of wishing that I was playing Minecraft, honestly. But I hope that you all have been having a great season so far. Let me know what kind of stuff you've been doing this season. Did you have any new experiences? Did you do anything fun that you wanted to do? Let me know down in the comments. I always love reading about what you guys are up to. Oh, another thing that's new with me. So you guys might remember that I mentioned that we had some construction done with the house because our freezer broke and we had to get a replacement. So we replaced the whole fridge and we took a wall out in our kitchen to do that, and it was kind of a mess for a while because of all the construction stuff going on. But we also got a quote for air conditioning to be installed in a couple of rooms in our house, and we finally have that in as well. So now my office and the bedroom both have AC, and I actually have my AC on right now, and you guys hopefully don't hear it through the recording, hopefully. But it's just been so nice this summer to not have to be super hot. Like last summer, I was so hot that I couldn't even stream or record or anything. But yeah, I am so thankful that we were able to finally get this done. I've wanted it for a couple of years, and we had a mobile unit that I just wasn't able to use while recording because it was so loud. And my office faces the sun all day, so it just bakes in the sun all day until like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And usually by like noon, I was so sweaty that I would have to like quit for the day. So I'm just like very thankful that we were in a position where we were able to set aside some money every month to be able to afford this. It did take us a couple of years to save for it, but I am so happy. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna get started on getting all of our materials together so we can start our build process. But the very first thing I want to do is grab one of these backpacks. I want to go ahead and upgrade a backpack to a bigger tier so we can carry around building supplies and stuff like that inside of them. So I think we have to go from copper to iron to gold and then to diamond. Normally I would upgrade the one on my back to be like that, but I think I'm going to keep the gold just so that we don't have to deal with the piglins in the nether. Oh, is this one of those ones where you just need half the iron, like in a plus? Yeah, okay, there we go. And then gold all around, and then diamond all around. And let's put away all of our upgrade materials since we won't need those for a minute. And this is huge. It's got a bunch of extra upgrade slots, which we can put a bunch of different upgrades in if we want to. And then the rest of it, we can just carry around all of the building materials that we're going to need today. Oh, you know what? I did not mean to put those like roots and stuff in there. There we go. Fix that up. I don't know why I have so many random wheat seeds, so I will just drop those anywhere. But we've got a bunch of stuff to put away here. And then as far as the rest of the build goes, we are probably going to end up using some spruce because I feel like we use spruce with every single one of our builds. It's just such a great building block. So we'll probably also need to grab some spruce logs just in case we need to craft some other bits and bobs, and then probably dark oak as well because that's a good color match for the spruce when it's stripped. And then we can drop all of that into our massive backpack. It's just such a great thing to have so much space for all these building materials. Grab some pine for some flooring and maybe some... I'm looking at the calcite here. I don't know if I want to do calcite kind of similar to this palette for this house, but I don't know if I want to do that or if I want to do birchwood. So for now, we will just leave that up in the air. I also put some oak wood in here to grow, and also in here I have even more crimson growing somewhere. Yep. Not a lot of it because I haven't been loaded in this area very long, but we've got some at least. But yeah, for now, let's go ahead and get some of the build area cleared out over there. And oh my gosh. Hello, villager. That was a little bit scary. I did not realize that they were quite over here. All right, Horsey, come on, let's head over to the build site. And as I mentioned earlier, it's been a while since I've played Minecraft, so it actually feels so good to be back into kind of like a low, you know, risk world. I really love the feeling of just being able to join my Minecraft world, not have to worry about losing everything. Although I do love my hardcore, don't get me wrong. But just dipping my toes back into Minecraft with a world I don't have to worry about losing is kind of just really nice feeling right now. It's been a busy summer, so I haven't had time to game a lot. Although, I mean, we have played a few games here and there. I've been playing a lot of indie games, but I mostly am able to game on my Steam Deck right now because I don't spend a ton of time at my PC. Let me just clear out all of this stuff in the inventory. That way we can just, you know, get all of this organized. And then, yeah, what I think we're going to do here is go ahead and start clearing out all of the trees here. So that way we can kind of see what kind of area we're working with. We're going to have to do a bunch of terraforming and place a bunch of dirt, I think. But I think to start with, let's go ahead and get all the trees and all the flowers removed. But yeah, I am trying to get back into doing a little bit of recording when I have time. Hopefully I'm going to be back into streaming, and I've been kind of planning some ideas for another 100 days. And of course, the hardcore episodes are still on my mind as well. So I've got a lot of content ideas and just not enough time to make any of that content happen into reality. I really miss streaming a lot because I feel like I used to talk to my community all the time about like books and stuff. And we had all these like little things that we spoke about. Like I haven't talked about Twilight in months, so I don't even know what's going on in my life right now. But I hope to come back to streaming soon so we can work some more on this world. And also I have some hardcore streams that I want to do because I need to start making some progress over there towards our next little project that I've got going on. It's just unfortunate. I just don't know how long the break is really going to be, but I'm trying to get into a rhythm and a workflow that I can study in the morning and then do YouTube and stuff in the afternoon. But especially because I don't know how long it's going to take me to become fluent, I just want to find a better workflow for myself that I can actually do work more often, but also continue to like build on the class and the studying and stuff that I've been doing, because obviously learning the language is a non-negotiable thing for living here, and I am committed to learning it so that way I can be more, you know, social and all of that stuff too. So off topic, but over here I want to fill this in and kind of like cover this up because we just don't need to go down there anymore since we have the elevator. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of these flowers. We just don't really need to go down there anymore, and we could always like go from the other side. So let's go ahead, we'll grab some dirt from right here because I didn't bring any. I should have brought some dirt over, but we can just take apart some of this hill right here. And then we can use this little bit to fill that all in. I definitely will have to go get some dirt from the house for later on when we do like the big terraform. Because there's quite a large, like giant little ravine there in front of this area. And I don't know what we're going to do with that. But yeah, anyways, what I was trying to say was I feel like once I can get into a better routine for myself for, you know, studying and doing work and doing YouTube and stuff, then I will just be in a better place to do content a little bit more consistently. Because right now it's just kind of like whenever I have an hour or two to record, that's when I record, and it's just not going very fast. So I think in the next couple of weeks / you know, next month or so, that's what I'm going to try to focus on, is just getting myself into a better place with all of that, because I want to make content again. Oh, I think that was a zombie and a spider, but I don't think that was part of the XP farm. I think that was just in some random cave. But I am just going to mind my business because I don't really have time for all that. I am just going to focus on my cozy little long play. You guys might hear my dog walking in the background right now because he loves to just come see what I'm doing when I'm talking. But it feels so good to be playing some Minecraft again. I feel like I say this every single time I don't play Minecraft for a while, but... and this might sound a little bit weird if you've never heard this before, but it feels like coming home every single time I come back to playing Minecraft again. Like, oh, here we are again, me and my comfort game against the world, me and my comfort game just absolutely taking on everything. There's nothing out there that really fills the same void as Minecraft does for me. Not that there's like a void in my life, I don't mean it like that, but There's such a satisfying thing that Minecraft does that not a lot of other games do, and it's almost like Stardew. Like Stardew fills a different like satisfying need for me. I don't really know how to explain it. Hopefully somebody will know what I mean by this. But there's just nothing out there that's like Minecraft for me, and I don't know, every time that I get to log back into it, I'm just so excited and so happy. Since I've been playing a lot of other games, I also want to take a moment and just talk about some of the other games that I've been playing, because there have been some fantastic indie games that have released this year. Also, some of these might not have released this year, but I'm just going to talk about them because I played them finally this year or finished them finally this year. And this one's not really an indie game, but I was very, very excited for Elden Ring Night Rain. As you guys probably remember from previous episodes of the series, I was super excited to talk about Night Rain, and now that it finally came out and I finally played it, I absolutely loved it. I am a Recluse, Iron Eye, and Duchess main, and I absolutely love those three characters, although all of the characters were very, very satisfying to play in their own ways, except for Guardian, who I will not talk about because I just did not enjoy the shield. I definitely will say it was the most fun if you had two friends to play with so you guys could talk, because there was no voice chat in the game, which I think is a good thing. I cannot imagine the sweaty souls community that would have been yelling at me when I was first trying to figure out how to play Recluse. But as of the current moment, all of the content that's out I've done. I've completed 100% of the achievements in the game, and all of the enhanced bosses that they've released so far have been beaten by me. And enhanced bosses are just like harder versions of the normal bosses that have like new phases, new attacks, and new like mechanics. So they have been really, really fun to figure out. There are some more that are coming out soon, but I am just really not looking forward to Enhanced Libra. I think I've only beat him once. He's just such a hard boss. It really, really takes a lot of coordination. And I'm not saying that I cannot be coordinated or that my group can't be coordinated. I play to have fun, not to be frustrated. But I do think it was a really, really fun kind of spin-off of the actual Elden Ring game. I mean, obviously it's not 100% the same as Elden Ring, but I think what it tried to do, it does well, and I have really, really enjoyed it. I don't know. I have also started a 100% run of Elden Ring with my best friend we're using the Seamless Co-op mod to run through the whole game together. And we're trying to get a character that has every single item and armor piece and talisman and everything. So we are going to have to play through multiple times, but we've recently started that. And I definitely have noticed that I am a little bit better at dodging certain enemies because of playing so much Night Rain. I've also recently become kind of obsessed with this Elden Ring YouTuber that makes like these really, really cool challenge videos like Elden Ring, but I only level 1 stat. His name is Osha2 here on YouTube if you guys are interested in watching some good Elden Ring content. And he's also a yapper too, so if you guys like yapping in your videos, definitely check his videos out. But I often go to sleep with his videos on, and I feel like I've just absorbed a lot of Elden Ring knowledge through sleep time with those videos. And dare I say, I feel like it has made me better at the game. Not that I'm the greatest, but definitely better than I was. And let's go ahead, we'll sleep really quick through the night so we can avoid all the creepers. And a little bit of a topic change here just for a moment, but I'm kind of contemplating how much space we're actually going to need. I do sort of want to make a bigger house here than I normally have in the past. Not to mention, this elevator actually goes down into the center of our zombie farm, so I would like to actually keep that there if possible. So we need to try to encompass that to include it in the house in some way, shape, or form. So let's go ahead here and try to start plotting out some space for the house. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we'll go over by 5, and then I kind of want to bring it 1 forward by 7. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, then let's bring this back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then bring this over this way again. So there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then do the same kind of shape we did on the front side. Okay, and then we can connect this up. And then that should be 11 throughout here, which I think that adds up. But I think I want to move the house actually back a little bit. And looking here on the map, it is a good size and it fits in the space nicely, but we definitely probably want to push this back a little bit so that this is a little bit more centered for the elevator. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull this back a little bit and just do the same pattern that I did before. So 5 and then go 1 out and then go 7 and then back in for 5 and then 2. Oh, well, hold on. I'm going to have to get rid of the old pattern first. So we'll just turn this into farmland. Because if you didn't know, you can turn pathway into farmland and then it will turn back into dirt really fast. So you do not have to dig it up. And since we have our hoe on us, I think this is probably just the easiest way to do this. I probably will have to dig up some of this in a second because we're going to go back by 11 now. So the 4, 5, and that would be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it would turn here. And then we can replace all this dirt here and then make it into path blocks. Okay, and then we will go ahead and do the same pattern once again on this front side of the house. And then 5. And we will bring this back by 11. And with that done, it gives our elevator a little bit more of a kind of central space in the house. But it's not completely centered, which I don't really love. If we look at it here, it's a little bit off on the inside. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces inside to work with. And this is 2, 3. Actually, if it was over by 1 block, it would be centered. Should I move this again to be in the center? I've already moved it once. I'd rather be happy with it, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to move it. So we'll just go ahead and turn this into path block here. And we'll just move all of this up by 1. Can you guys actually tell that I just have no idea what's going on when I'm building or anything, like all the time? I mean, it's definitely taking a minute to do this, but I honestly think it'll make me happier with the build in the long run if it's a little bit more centered and like where I want it to be. So it's definitely not ideal to move it more than once, but I'm just going to be happier with it in the long run. So I can deal with that. Okay, and let me just go ahead and double check over here. Is this going to be even? So on this side, we have 1, 2, 3. And this will be 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, because that will go into regular dirt. And I think that's just also a good reminder for everyone that sometimes you're just not happy with it in its first position and you have to make some adjustments. And let's go ahead and eat a little bit of steak. Which, speaking of steak, I am tired of eating steak. So soon we definitely need to get some kind of like kitchen or cafe going because I want to make some modded food options. I think I want it to be down closer to the lake though, like near the farm. Maybe like on the docks would be really, really cool. But going back to the outline, yeah, I'm much happier with this positioning. And I think I like the shape of this as well. I think that this is nice and this is a good base to start from. Now, earlier we did collect a bunch of blocks for this build from our house, but I still don't know what I want to put on the inside on like the walls. So it probably would be a good point to go back to the base and pick what we're going to use and also to grab some dirt because this whole section over here, I'm probably just going to have to cover up. And that's probably going to take us a little bit of time here, but what we can do while we're still over here is actually come down and try to chop out some of these trees. Because I don't really think that this space in its current form is very usable to me because it's so like hilly or mountainy, I guess I should say. So kind of flattening this out a little bit is just going to give us a better space to work with. And I think that is more important than keeping it like super natural looking. But honestly, if I just stand here and look at it, it looks like such a huge project, but I don't think it'll be that bad. Once we get the trees, we'll actually see kind of like the space that we're working with really quick. And then from there, we can just grab the flowers and do like, you know, a double layer of dirt, and then we will be, you know, all good. And while we collect all of these flowers and everything, let's go ahead and go back to our conversation about gaming. We talked about Elden Ring and we talked about Night Rain, and I'm always just ready to yap about more games. So another game that I've been playing a lot recently has been Peak. Peak is a very silly climbing game with physics that you can play with friends, and there's like little items that can help you like climb up the side of the mountain. It has proximity voice chat, and there's just a lot of hijinks and stuff that unfold on an expedition. Very, very funny. Currently, I'm about at like 75% of the achievements. There are some that are pretty difficult, so I will be trying to get those at some point in the future. I feel like I probably mentioned this in a previous video, so apologies if I did, but I have been trying to do a lot of achievement hunting. If I was not a Minecraft YouTuber, I would definitely be like an achievement hunter YouTuber because I really, really enjoy that. I used to achievement hunt on my PlayStation like way back in the day. And I feel like there was such a sense of accomplishment for me when I used to get like platinum trophies and stuff. So I've been trying to like kind of bring some of that like joy back to gaming for me. And slowly I've been working my way through my Steam library, just trying to work on some of my backlog or stuff that's like close to 100% that wouldn't be too hard. I still need just one more achievement for Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I have been working on Hello Kitty for so long, but basically without spoiling too much, I need one more character to visit my island, and I need to get them to 5 stars on my island before I can get a quest to get the final character. And the final character is who the achievement's related to. So once that final character finally comes to my island and I can get them to 5 stars, then I will finally have my last achievement for Hello Kitty. But I'm still playing for the events and working on my flowers and decorating my whole island and stuff. And then recently I also finished my 100% of Stardew Valley achievements. So I had to get married and have 2 kids. I was married with a kid, but then there's like a cooldown that you have to wait for like a certain number of in-game weeks, I guess, to ask to have another one. And I just hadn't been there in that file yet, I guess. And I think I'm gonna run out of dirt here, so I'm probably gonna have to go home. But then I had to see a film in the movie theater because I just never went after the achievement was added. Yeah, I'm definitely out of dirt. So let's go ahead. We'll grab our horse over here and then we will go and get some dirt. But yeah, so after that achievement was finished, I also had to help the woodland critter family. I don't want to spoil in case no one's played that. It has been out for a while though. I don't know why you haven't played that update yet, but yeah, helping them was my final achievement and I finished that one as well, which is honestly like such a huge achievement for me because I never thought that I would get through Journey of the Prairie King, but I practiced every day for like 3 months, 2 summers ago, and I finally completed that. And then I was just kind of over Stardew for a while. So coming back and getting that 100% was really, really important for me. I also 100%ed Unpacking recently, which was an incredible, like absolutely phenomenal gaming experience. The first time I ever played it, I liked it in like a cozy game aspect, but the more I got into it, honestly, like the power of storytelling through like environment was so cool in that game. It's also made me like super nostalgic for different points in my life, like when I was a kid, having my bedroom and like going to college and all that stuff like that. But if you haven't played it, I definitely would recommend playing it. I do believe it's also available on mobile now. I'm not 100% sure, but let me put some more of this stuff away because I'm definitely going to need some more dirt to get everything going here. And we should also probably talk about what we're actually going to make this house out of now that we're here and kind of just like putting everything away and organizing. We have a lot of options, but I feel like keeping the buildings looking a little bit similar to each other is probably going to be the best. So I think that calcite is probably our best option. I know it's kind of like the lazier option, but I feel like that is just going to be the better option because we already have like all the calcite and all the diorite that we'll probably need for this build. And looking at all those blocks together, yeah, that is probably going to be more than enough, but we can always collect some more if we need to, but I really, really doubt it. We have like everything that we need already. And let's go ahead and just grab a little bit more dirt because we can always put it in the backpack if we don't use it all, but I'd rather have a little bit more than I need. Oh, but I also want to grab, while we're still here, I want to grab some sand for glass, but I made so much tinted glass, by the way. I did not need that much. I just like shift clicked everything. I'm gonna need some iron, and then I'm going to need some magenta dye, which we do not have. So let's just see, what's the easiest way we can make some magenta dye? I think it's gonna be lilacs, right? Oh, or alliums. Okay. Lilacs we can bone meal though, and we have a lot of bones, I do believe. Do I have any lilacs? I don't think I have any, but that's fine because we can always find some in the flower forest. I think there's some on the way. And before we head back outside, I do believe it's night, so let's take a quick little snooze. And let's go ahead and before we go, I'm gonna check up here. We have 3 crimson logs, so not a lot because this place is not loaded. But let's go ahead, we'll go back over to the build site, and I've still got to put a pathway on the other side. I know, we will get there. I am in no rush to make this world the perfect world for me, and I want to take my time finding its beauty. And hello, cows. Let's say hello to our sheep. Hello! And now we can continue on our journey. And I think somewhere around here, there's like a patch. This is the patch, maybe? No, that's just roses. Here it is. Okay, I was gonna say there was roses and lilacs, but we can go ahead and get some of these lilacs duplicated really quick. And once we run out of bone meal, we'll just collect all of these up and back on our horse, and let's head back to the build site. I almost said adventure, but we're not really going on an adventure today. It was kind of just the nether. Ooh, wait, there's grapes right there. Nice, red grape seeds. We'll need those later on. Oh, I heard a skeleton. I'm so scared. Honestly, I just really don't want to die again. I died for the first time in this world on a live stream, and I just don't want to die again. But speaking of live streams, I think I want to do a live stream pretty soon to do like a little horse stable for the horses because I feel bad that they don't have an official home. But that will have to be in the future because right now we are going to focus on torching up underneath this little, you know, mound of dirt that we are placing. And back to our gaming conversation, I did pick up a bunch of stuff in the Steam summer sale. One of those games was Enshrouded, which I have been liking even though I have no idea what's going on, but the base building is very, very fun in that game so far. I also picked up Digsium, which is a little incremental game about digging up like relics of ancient times and making a museum. But I really, really enjoyed it. It was sort of similar to like Nodebuster for me, where it's kind of just like this short couple-hour journey where, you know, the number gets big. And I actually think I played all of it while I watched the Minecraft movie. I played Duck Detective, The Secret Salami, which I thought was really, really good. It was just like a short little mystery detective game about this retired duck detective who gets called to investigate the story of a stolen lunch at this office. And that is the perfect amount of like whimsical, funny, like silly joy that I really, really like. And the whole game was voice acted, which I thought was like really interesting. And then I've also been playing Pixel Cafe on and off. It's sort of like a cooking game where you make different meals and stuff for customers when they come up to the counter. And it's got like a little story to it with like upgrades and stuff. And then I was watching a YouTuber play this game called Old Market Simulator, which I also picked up during the summer sale. And that is a very intense game. Like it reminds me a little bit of Supermarket Sim or like other sim games in the genre, which I like love. But in this game, the customers do not care what licenses you have access to because on day one, you have just basically like potatoes, carrots, and milk. And if you don't have alchemical potions, the customers will be like, this is the worst place I've ever been and you should close your shop. Okay, and I just want to take a quick look at the map. That looks a little bit better, although this area down here still feels a little bit strange to me. So let's figure that out. But yeah, the game is a little bit intense, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it. And that's pretty much everything I've been playing. Like on Sundays with my bestie, we have like, you know, time. We watch shows or movies or whatever. And we normally play our Elden Ring playthrough, and we also play Uno, and sometimes we play Sunhaven too, which has been fun. But I think that's pretty much everything. And I think I want to keep this area open over here because eventually it would be nice to have like a little horse stable or something right there. But that will have to be a future thing because now let's focus on getting this build actually started. And if you've made it this far into the video, let me know if you've played any of these games that I've been yapping about. And thanks so much for also listening to me yap about the most random nonsense that has ever been yapped about in the entire world. Now, I don't have a ton of coal, so let's go ahead and we're going to fortune up this that I got while I was digging out the room downstairs. This is my Fortune 3 pickaxe. I can't remember if I mentioned it that I got it earlier, but I killed so many zombies. I'm not even joking. I think I killed literally, well, looking at the statistics here, 910. I was going to say 1,000, But yeah, to get all the levels that I had at the beginning and to get the levels to enchant this, I killed 910 zombies. And those aren't even counting the other ones in my backpack because I combined some to get this efficiency 5 one, and then I have another efficiency 4 Unbreaking 3, and I've got the Fortune and the Silk Touch. And that efficiency 5 one, I combined an efficiency 4 that was just efficiency 4 with an Unbreaking 3 efficiency 4. So I just kept getting pretty unlucky. The good thing though is that I have Silk Touch, so before I got Fortune 3, I was able to Silk Touch up some ores and stuff, which is kind of nice. But the reason we were even getting that coal is that I wanted to smelt up some glass, so we can just do that in the furnace part of our backpack now, and we'll just leave that there because I want to make these magenta stained glass panes. I think these are going to be really, really pretty. Although now that I'm looking at this, I'm wondering if pink might be better than the magenta. I cannot make up my mind. But I think that there's some peonies right over here, and peonies give pink dye as far as I remember. So we'll just grab a couple of these because there's quite a big patch over here. And then, yeah, we've got some pink dye. Maybe this will be better to use than the magenta. I definitely think I am pretty sure about making that like barred looking glass though from Hearth and Home. I just feel like, I don't know, it kind of has like a vanilla-y feel to it, but also kind of meets Mizuno's part of the way because Mizuno's has all those designs on the glass. But yeah, let's go ahead. We'll pull out our sawmill for our wood and let's start getting the beams set up. So as you guys may know, I like to use barrels for this. So I'm just going to type in barrel into here to pull out a bunch of barrels to use for the, beam like foundation. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take those and put them on the corners. Not like that. I want them to be facing downwards. But we'll put them on the corners of the dirt path that we made out earlier. So just one in every single corner / on the end, however you want to call that. I really, really love how the side texture to the barrels looks. So that's what we're going to use as the foundation down at the bottom. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab our polished diorite in here. And I think we're going to do the same thing that we did on the house over there. I don't know if I can see it because my render distance might be a little bit too low. Oh yeah, we can see it. So we used the polished diorite on the bottom before we moved into the calcite and the regular diorite on the top. And I feel like that gives just like a very clean and defined look over there. So I'm going to repeat that over here and do something a little bit similar. And we are, instead of filling in the middle, we are going to fill in one behind to give this a little bit of depth. And kind of doing this on the inside of where your beams are just gives you a little bit more space to work with out on the outside of your build to do like little archways and stuff. We're sort of freehanding here, so I don't know if these barrels are going to stay covered, but we're just going to cover them up for now. And then in this space right here, this is actually going to be where the doorway goes, so we can take out some of these blocks in the middle as well. Grab some more diorite, and then we can craft that into polished diorite. I don't think we'll need too much more because we just need to fill in this part right here. And now our elevator will be flush with the wall, which I really, really like. But we need to figure out how tall our walls are going to be here. So I think the next thing that we want to do is grab some of our dark oak that we're going to strip, and we're going to make our actual beams for the house. Now, if you're wondering why I'm using the stripped dark oak instead of the stripped spruce to go with the spruce for later on like the roof and stuff, I just feel like it color matches a little bit better. And we are going to bring these beams up by 4, so 5 high. That's usually how high I go with my first floor. And then we will bring over a cross beam as well, just to the side like this, and connect that up with another beam going up. And that's what we'll do around the whole, outside of the structure. I don't know if you guys like me explaining this kind of stuff as a tutorial in these videos. I'm not trying to make it a tutorial or anything, but I figure I might as well just explain or talk about what I'm doing while I'm doing it for the most part. Because honestly, there's only so many topics that I could yap about. Like, I could always yap about how much I play Valorant, although it has been a lot less because I've just been too busy for Valorant. But you know what I haven't been too busy for? Okay, this is going to be game changing. Everyone get ready. This is not hype at all, but I've been doing a lot of coloring pixels on Steam because I figured out how to stream it to my iPad and use my pencil. And coloring pixels is just that. It's a coloring pixel game, like a color by number type of game. Wait, that water is making it so this doesn't turn back into regular dirt. It's like hydrating the farmland somehow. So I did not realize that, but we will fix that. And now that is fine. But yeah, I have been playing so much Coloring Pixels. I picked up a couple of the DLCs when they were on sale because they're only like 99 cents a piece. And I don't believe that they use any AI in their artwork. Like this is all like people made art, and there's a lot of like community art and stuff in the game, which I think is like super, super cool. And I've been having just an absolute blast with the game because it just like scratches a creative itch that when I'm not feeling very creative, but I sort of want something a little bit like more low key, it's just been really, really nice. There are a lot of games like this for iPad like natively, but since I learned how to stream my computer like screen to my iPad with like the Steam Link app and stuff, I use my iPad's pencil to color in the actual pictures, and I feel absolutely unstoppable. It's such a great time. Can be a little wonky at times doing it that way, but when you're at your computer actually on the app works perfectly. But yeah, I don't know what it is about that specific activity, like having on, you know, a little bit of like a Netflix documentary. I've been watching some true crime documentaries and doing a little Coloring Pixels that just scratches the brain in such a great way. I think I am just like a simple girl living in a simple world, you know what I mean? Like it does not take a lot to make me happy or for me to find contentment with something. I can always just find something that I want to do, you know what I mean? And you know what? I'm thinking about it and I was like, I should start the roof, but I don't have the walls of this place on, so maybe we should actually craft up our glass and grab the stuff for the walls. So let's go ahead and make our pink stained barred glass. We need iron nuggets for that. We did bring some extra iron earlier, so we can make that into nuggets. And then we can make that into the regular barred glass. We'll just craft up a bunch of those. And then we'll change that into the pink glass, like the pink version. And then finally, we can make those into glass panes. I don't know if 32 will be enough. Hopefully it will be. But now that we have all of those, we can actually just go ahead and focus on getting our walls put up on the house. So let's go ahead and grab out some of our building blocks here. And we're going to use those blocks to build up our walls. Now, there isn't really like a right way to do this. I tend to go ahead and just kind of like alternate or like randomize, I guess would be a better word for it. So sometimes I'll do like a diorite and a calcite and then 2 calcites or 2 diorites, you know. And if it looks a little bit weird, you can always fix it later and like change up blocks at the end. But I just like to get a base down. And I'm leaving this open in the middle because like I said, this is going to be our doorway here. So actually, why don't we just go ahead and put it in? That will be a lot easier than just like staring at it for no reason. So we're going to take some of these planks. We'll put those on the bottom. I love to do a plank on the bottom for some texture and then some stripped on the top. I don't know who I originally saw do this. It was probably Fwib, but I think that, I don't know, there's just something so nice about having like that little bit of texture in a doorway like that. Oh yeah, that looks very, very clean. I like that a lot. So let's grab this stone cutter and we'll go ahead and also detail with some diorite stairs, because these can be added on the inside of the wall there to give that like a nice little archway. Small details like that in Minecraft just make me super, super happy. And of course, we will also use our spruce stairs and trapdoors later on to round out our beams with those little archways. But we will do these ones here just so you can kind of start to see the vision a little bit. So it's got, you know, a lot of like square blockiness to it, but then it gets rounded off and becomes a little bit softer. And I feel like that's really, really nice for like, you know, your typical like cute cottage. All right, now back to filling in our walls. Well, our walls, not the outside. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have, you know, our calcite and diorite, and then in the middle, we were going to go ahead and put our glass. Now that's cute, but this spot right here is a little bit weird. Is that looking okay? Maybe? Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, we'll kind of leave that off for now. We can always cover it up later again, but we'll put our glass there in the middle again. And then we will just fill our walls in around where our windows are going to be. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about this very, very strongly. I don't know why. It is not as serious as I'm making it in my head. I'm trying to think on this wall. How do I want to do the window? So maybe there a window and then a block and then another window and a block and another window, and that should be 2. Yeah, okay, that works perfectly. So it's 2 and then 3 windows and then 2 on the other side as well. Okay, easy peasy. And now we can fill in the rest following that pattern with our windows and then our regular blocks. It's actually been quite a while since I built something, since probably the last time that we had an episode, so it actually feels pretty nice to be building again. I always feel like something is missing in my life when I am not like playing Minecraft / not building up my cute little structures, so I don't know, like I said earlier, it always feels like coming home when you play Minecraft again after a while, and right now I'm definitely having like, it's like a feeling of nostalgia, but like, you know what I mean, right? It's like a really, really good feeling. Also, wait, look at this. This is cute. If I was comparing it to something else though, I would say that it's probably very similar to like when you haven't drawn for a while or you haven't done any art for a while and then you kind of like, you know, start a new sketch or something like that, you know? Wait, is that right? I don't know if I like this. I'm so sorry. I feel like it looks a little bit strange, but I think I'm going to keep it until the end to see what it looks like at the very, very end. And on this section here, I'm trying to decide, do I want to do like a bay window or do I want to do like another set of like 3 windows? Oops, didn't mean to break that. So that would be like how the 3 windows looks. Maybe we keep the 3 windows, that way it kind of matches. Oops, and we can silk touch that up. And place back some of our blocks. I don't know what I'm trying to do here. But okay, let's fill in the rest of this so that way we can see it, what it looks like kind of, you know, more complete. Okay, and just looking at this for a second, it's looking good. I mean, there's no gradient or anything on the walls, but that's completely fine because it's got like character and texture, and that's what matters. It's a simple build, but that's not a problem. And then yeah, I think over on this side, we will kind of continue the same pattern. So we'll have a window here and the 3 windows on the side. Oh yeah, I like that. That is coming together. Okay, I think next we're gonna take these torches out because I want to work on the floor in here. So we're gonna go out, we're gonna grab our pine stuff really quick. We can just turn all of that into pine planks. Don't know exactly how much we're gonna need, but we've got some more if we need it. And let's get this floor changed out. And I think we can finally remove these cobblestones here. That is where I actually was building up when I was centering the elevator right there. And there's just something so satisfying about having the elevator in the center of the room. So of course I had to do it. It was like absolutely integral to the operation down there. And these actually are the very same elevators that we used in the previous series, but on fabric, they just don't make a sound for some reason. The only difference that I can really tell between the 2 mods, because the crafting recipes and stuff are the same, is just that one's on forge and one's on fabric. But it doesn't have the sounds, and it also doesn't have like the disguising of the block. You used to be able to right click a block onto it to like make it look like something else, and you can't do that with the fabric version for some reason. Also, I did have to change my config as well in the mod options, so the default amount of like blocks you could travel with the elevator was only 20. I personally changed mine to like 500 just in case we want to have something at the very top that also goes to the very bottom of the world. But I really thought that the mod was not working because I was trying to travel just over 20 blocks. I think it was like 22 blocks or something, and it just wasn't working. You could also do multiple floors, but with the room downstairs, multiple floors didn't really make sense, in my opinion. So that's why I didn't do that, and I just chose to adjust my config. Almost done. There we go. Floor is in, and this should still work. Let's just double check. Yep, we are still down here. That's perfect. I am really looking forward to doing a live stream where I decorate down here because it really needs it. There's just some lights around so that nothing spawns. But I don't know how I feel about this room, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys like the patterns on the walls? I definitely am feeling like I'm unsure about that part specifically. I'm really hoping that it grows on me. I really want to like it. And let's just kill these zombies as well while we're down here. And by the way, we have so many zombie capture cards. I don't know why they're stacking weirdly, but we have so much stuff down here. We'll just top up on wood as well for the roof of our house because we are going to be using that crimson wood for the roof of our house today. I think I'm hearing like mob sounds. Let's get this torched up. Oh yeah, there's definitely some zombies that have spawned somewhere, but I don't know where they... Oh, this is kind of scary sounding. It sounds like it's like right below us, so let's just try to dig down and see if we can find it. It sounds like they're so loud, like very close by, but I'm not seeing a cave or anything. I don't know. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I will have to try to find where this cave is in between episodes. You know, I wonder if maybe they were in that hole that we covered up earlier, but I thought that was torched up. It's like right over here somewhere. Oh yeah, no, that's definitely torched up. They are not in there. That is weird. Okay, we're just gonna have to ignore it for now. We're gonna mind our business for a little bit, and I will figure that out in between episodes because I don't want to spend too much time on that. But you know what is our business is actually getting a good night's rest. So let's sleep. Okay. Now that we slept, I think we should start focusing on the next part of our build, and that is going to be getting the roof on this thing. And it's going to be a pretty big roof because we're going to have like a first floor and then another second floor within the attic space. I don't think that we really need 2 floors and then an attic as well because I don't know exactly how much space we're going to need, so I don't want to overcomplicate it or anything. But let's go ahead, let's get some stuff put away in our backpack. And you know what? Actually, those do not belong in here. They go in the other backpack, and I'm just silly. So let me get this sorted really quick. And you know what would be a good idea? Let me go ahead and just pick up the backpack, and I'm going to also take the sawmill and the stone cutter as well, because we probably will need them up on the roof. I won't want to come back down for them. And let's just take a little look over there. Has our bamboo grown enough to really make a bunch of scaffolding? Not really. So we're gonna probably just use dirt or whatever we have. These pine planks will do just fine. And not clicking on the barrel, but let's go ahead and just build like a little staircase up for ourselves. I find this the easiest way when you don't have scaffolding. Oh, actually not that block because we are going to have like a little bit of a sticky outy part on the front part of the roof, and then the rest of the roof will be going on this way. I don't really know how to explain that with just gesturing, but we'll have like this part coming out and then going up for like a little kind of pointy thing right here. It would help if I knew any actual official names for anything regarding like a roof or like building a roof in Minecraft, but I don't, so honestly, my process when I'm talking about these things is just like going with the flow and hoping that no one gets confused along the way. Then we're going to go ahead and do our dark oak stripped here. And as you can see, like this is a really good example right here. It's such a good color match. And then on top of the dark oak, we'll do our stairs and then upside down stairs. Okay, and then we are going to close this off with some more upside down stairs. This is going to bring it to a middle point where we're going to put an upside down stair. Right there in the middle, and then another stripped dark oak on top of that, and an outward facing stair. A little bit tall there, but trust me, it'll work. And then we're going to bring the rest of the roof over But yeah, that's the kind of like little front shape that we want, just to give that roof some definition and just like make it look like interesting. But yeah, now we will have to match up the roof for the sideways part. So we'll bring this over. And we're going to use the pattern that we did before over there. So you can kind of use that as a template. So we had a stair, upside down stair, stair, upside down stair, and then a strip dark oak. And then on top of that, we'll go another upside down stair, but I don't want to get too high yet. I want to also kind of do it over on this side. That way I don't like lose my place. And now we'll just bring this up a little bit further, trying to get towards that center point. Don't know exactly where that's going to be. I never am really good at like gauging that in Minecraft for some reason. Oh, ouch. Okay, let's get this one up to the same level. I didn't mean to fall off there. I was gonna go kind of like safely off, but you know, whatever did not happen, that's fine. All right, I think this is approaching the center point. So yeah, if we just go ahead and do this, we're going to do the same kind of thing we did on the front, and then the stair. All right, I do believe that that is right. So let's go ahead and replicate this on the other side here. We're going to just pull this over and do the same exact thing. Oh, but I'm actually out of spruce, so let's go ahead and grab our sawmill here. Why can I not place that down? That was so weird. We're just gonna grab a bunch of stairs. And yeah, let's go ahead and get this other side of the roof put on. Okay, random jump scare of my voice incoming. You know what else I have really been in the mood for? I don't know why, but every time it's like summertime going into fall, I mean, it's not really fall yet, but eventually it will be. But every single time it's like this time of the year, I am so in the mood to play some Stardew Valley. And I have to be careful with that impulse because I know that if I get like sucked back into Stardew Valley, that's all I will do. And I have been watching this like mega modded Stardew Modpack thing that a YouTuber was doing for like their perfection run. And it looks so much fun. I want to play with some of these mods. Another game that I really want to play soon is Fields of Mystria, but I'm trying to wait for the Steam achievements to come because I know that I'm going to have to like get all those legendary bugs, and I've heard that they are a nightmare to get. And I don't want to have to do it over if it's not going to like count my past progress or anything. But oh my gosh, that game has so much in it already, and it's only in early access. Also, just thinking about it, I think I want to do the same thing we did on the front, on the back section. So we have this kind of like little jetty out bit on the front. On the back, I meant. We already did the front. I don't know my directions, I'm sorry. But once we have that on the back, we'll have the frame of the roof done, and then we can just do the easier part of the roof, which is filling it in, because the framing is the hardest part, honestly. Anyways, I know that I talk a lot about gaming and a lot about games outside of Minecraft, but let me know if you guys have been playing anything, what you guys have been playing, what you guys enjoyed this summer in the comment section, or what you're looking forward to that's coming out. I always love reading what you guys are playing. I have added so many games to my wish list that have been recommended to me from you guys. I feel like the other main thing that we yap about in these long plays is probably books and Minecraft updates, but we're going to talk about books first because I feel like I haven't really had that much time to read. Or maybe it's like motivation to read, because does anyone else have this? Like when I was doing my uni degree, I like didn't read for fun at all. Whoops, I did not mean to place that like that. But because I had like assignments that I had to read for and stuff, I was like almost like kind of over reading for a little bit, and I've met my book goal for the year, but like doing my studies and stuff and constantly like, I don't know, like reading my notes or like assignments, I have like just had less motivation to read than I used to have. The last book that I did finish though was The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, which was honestly incredible. I would say it was my first 6-star read this year, like 6 out of 5 stars. And I just really, really liked it. I'm really, really excited for the next one. I think that this one just came out this year though, so we're probably gonna have to wait a while, which is totally fine. Sorry, I'm getting my inventory together so I cannot think because I want to start filling in this roof with all of our crimson stuff. But that was the last book that I did read. And I think I might start another book by Rachel Gillig. I really, really enjoyed her writing style. It was like pretty unique and like the magic system was really fun. She has another completed duology, which I think I might pick up. One of them is called One Dark Window, and I don't remember the other one, but I think that's going to be my next read once I have the motivation to read again. I've heard that that book also has like a very interesting and unique magic system, so I'm very, very curious to try it out. I really liked her writing style. I really do hope that my motivation for reading comes back soon though, because I really miss it when I don't do it, and I feel like it's such a good habit, especially because I do it while I'm like winding down for the day. And before I got back into reading, I was kind of like scrolling on social media a lot at that time, like during that part of my day. And I just wanted to kind of remove that. And also I think I'm going to remove this pink here as well. I think I want to replace that with like some stripped dark oak. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. If we do this, it kind of like caps off that like section that sticks out. I really like that. Anyways, yeah, so I was trying to like remove scrolling as a habit for me, or trying to reduce the amount of, scrolling that I did on the daily. But yeah, I was just trying to have a different habit there instead of scrolling at night, because I felt like it was like keeping my brain awake and not letting me like fully relax and stuff. I've also been kind of alternating some journaling in there and like doing daily reflection and stuff like that, because I start out the year really, really strong with doing that. And then somehow, and it usually happens if I get like super ill, like I was in March of this year, but somehow I always kind of like fall off the bandwagon and stop like reflecting on, my day, my feelings, etc. But I found that if I incorporate just like a little bit of journaling like before bedtime, I'm way better with like tracking my habits and being better about that kind of stuff. I don't know. But it's also the same with like my daily planning. If I don't get up and do that like very first thing in the morning, I probably won't do it for like my whole day. And that doesn't mean like that it's a bad day or anything, but I feel better when I have planned my day and like block out my time and write down my tasks that I need to work on and stuff like that. And to-do lists can be kind of overwhelming sometimes, but I try to treat it as like a no pressure type of thing, unless it's like something important where I have like an obvious deadline, and then I have to, treat it a little bit more like seriously, I guess. But I don't just put like important stuff that like I have to get done, like, cleaning my bathroom on there. Like I also put stuff that I want to do on there, and I also like decorate mine as well. So it kind of like motivates me to come back, because I get a lot of satisfaction about like checking off boxes. Does that make sense? Also, just like off topic, but I am really glad that we're growing so much crimson stem downstairs, because I cannot imagine if we would have had to go back to the nether like mid-build. But yeah, as far as planning goes, I feel like it's just really, really helped me. I feel like I talk about this quite a bit, but I cannot understate how much more organized I am. I don't know if I'd be able to do anything in my life if I wasn't like writing it out for myself, which sounds a little bit silly to say, but there are 5 million tasks and 2 brain cells working overtime up there. Okay, this whole half is done. So up here at the top, we're going to go ahead, we're going to grab our dark oak logs, and then we're going to do a beam up here going all the way across on both sides. And of course, we want that to be stripped as well, just like we did down there, kind of capping off the top of this roof. And with that done, now we just have to go onto the other side of the roof on the front side of the house and do it all over again. Also, I don't know why, but I just randomly thought about telling you guys about this. So last year for my birthday, my partner got me some speakers to hook into my setup, and we finally got them working. So this is going to sound very like nerdy, and I apologize in advance, but I'm like very excited about it. So my partner got me these speakers, and when you have a microphone that's like mine and you need like an XLR interface, it can like really complicate your audio. There's like a million different sound inputs that you now have to worry about and all that stuff, but I was able to get it to work so that I can, you know, change my outputs to the speakers and like whatever I'm listening to, whether it's game audio or, you know, my Spotify or whatever I'm watching on like my browser, like on YouTube or whatever, I can just have that over my speakers. And it's so nice because I don't have to wear headphones all the time anymore. And an unintended kind of side thing about that is that like my partner moved his setup into my office because his office was like super, super hot. So I have the air conditioning in mine now, and he wanted to be cool while he gamed and hung out as well. And it's funny because I've actually like, even if he's playing his own game on the side and I'm doing my own thing on the side in like the evenings, like we've been like watching shows and like watching videos and stuff together. It's been really, really fun. And I know that's definitely stuff that we could do outside of like my office as well, but there's just something really, really cute and sweet about like the parallel play thing that I really, really enjoy. Because it's just nice to have him in here while we both do our thing instead of being in separate rooms doing our own thing. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that like I yapped so much that pretty much this whole roof is put on. I need to get some more crimson stuff though. I think that we have it in the backpack. The other backpack though, because we just need a little bit more storage and then we will have enough to get this roof all finished up. Well, not all finished up, but at least mostly finished up for the first little bit of this video. We will come back and, you know, add some leaves and all that stuff too. Now, before we go back down, not our dark oak, I want to go ahead with our spruce here, and I want to grab some fences and some fence gates, I believe. I think a good mix of both is going to add some nice detail to the top of this roof here. And what we're going to do, we're going to take these on our hotbar, and then we're going to put down 2 fences and then a gate, and then 3 fences and a gate. And then we're going to go do the same thing on the other side because I don't know exactly where it'll meet. So I got to figure out how we're going to do that part in the middle. But I guess that's just 3 fences. Yeah, and that's fine. So all across it goes 2 and then 3, 3, 3 and then 2 more. And that works fine. And I also want to go ahead and put like a chimney back there as well. But we will do that a little bit later as I like to do those kinds of big details kind of at the end. And so we can add the same kind of idea here where we got 2 fences and then a gate and then another fence. I think that works okay. And then we'll do that on the other side as well. But we're going to have to jump up here. And whoops, that was not the right block to use. And that was not the correct placement either. Oh my goodness. Mistake crafting. I was going to say I haven't made any mistakes really yet today, but I've got to, of course, just prove myself wrong there. Okay, next up. Oh my goodness. That hurts a little bit more. I gotta remember that I don't have feather falling on my boots. I didn't know if it was going to be necessarily like necessary to get that. But we do live in a mountain range, so I probably should at some point prioritize trying to get it a little bit at least. But anyways, this is how the build is looking so far. I actually think that this is coming out very, very cute. But let's go ahead here and we'll grab our sleeping bag and take a little snooze. Before we do anything else today, I do want to take a step back and just kind of like look at this in the daylight a little bit. So let's go get up into this tree. But, you know, I just remembered that instead I can also free cam. Now, I really do like to use free cam in this way to kind of check out my builds. And I really do think that this is a good size build. The roof is a little bit big, but I feel like it's kind of the perfect like whimsical cottage in the wood type of vibe. I definitely feel like the pink is very, very inviting. It's not very scary or anything, but yeah. Still need to do some work on it. Obviously, we need to fill in all these spots that are, you know, empty with all of our wall blocks. And of course, we need to put in our second floor and work on the inside too. But I think that this is a really good shell to work from. But now the question becomes, for the next little bit, what do we want to do? Do we want to go inside and start to work on the inside and fill in all the walls and stuff? Or do we want to work on detailing the outside, like, you know, detailing over here, for instance? Wait, actually, now that I'm looking at this, I'm wondering, do we want to move that beam up by 1 so that we can decorate out here? Like, say we had like an overhang kind of like above the windows. Does that look weird? I feel like it looks a little bit cramped, and maybe if we moved that beam up by 1, it would look a little bit better. Let's try that out before we continue on. And we probably want to also move the one over here as well so it matches. I'm not 100% convinced of this decision, so if we come back and change it again, don't yell at me in the comments, but this is how, you know, this is how the build process works sometimes. We'll just put that there. Oh, I can just go down like this. Hopefully that looks right once we fill it in. Like I said, I'm not 100% convinced here that this is the right move, but we're going to try it because I feel like it just might make that look a little bit less weird. And you know, the worst thing that happens is that we don't like it and then we change it back to the old way, but I do feel like this is probably going to look a lot better with the window overhang thing having a little bit of room to breathe. But yeah, we've got to fix that on the back side and the other side of the house as well. So let's go ahead and do that right now really quick. I will say one of my goals as a builder has been to get better at building kind of like on the fly. And even if I have some idea of blocks or anything, I feel like building live on streams and on Twitch has really, really helped me. I've definitely had moments while making content, whether it was for a live or a YouTube video, where I really did not enjoy if I didn't have like a picture to build from or like a Lightmatica schematic. And I realized at one point it was just that I really didn't want people to see me like making mistakes, and I don't know why I was worried about that at all. And I've gotten way more comfortable with that, which I'm like proud of myself over. And as much as live streaming helps, I think that making these long plays helps too, because I'm not gonna like, you know, make a random cut in the middle of the video because, oh, sorry, I misplaced this 14 times in a row. You know what I mean? But that's been kind of a problem for me like almost my whole time as content creator. So I'm happy that I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with it. And let's go ahead. We're going to put on our little overhang, but I'm not 100% sure if I like that. Maybe if it was kind of like a little bit in. Yeah, I think that might look a little bit better. At least it's a little bit more interesting. The way it was before was just not good. So yeah, that is better. Okay, before we do anything else on the outside, I really want to go into the inside and start getting some of the second floor and stuff set up. And this might seem like a random switch that I'm just kind of like detouring right now, but I promise that I'm doing this for a reason. Let me grab our pine stuff here. But I want to make sure that where I put the windows for the second floor will match up with the new height of like the beams that we added. So I've got to figure out where exactly this floor is going to go. I sort of see two options here, but I'm going to try at first to put it up on like the higher height, and then maybe one below it is the other option. But let's go ahead and we're going to build up a little staircase here really quickly and start to fill this in so we can kind of see it. Oh, I'm stuck. Help! Help! Horse, get some help, please. Come help me. I'm just kidding. We could climb out. We just got to grab some of our blocks out of the other backpack. And then we can just build up out of here with our calcite and our diorite. So let's go ahead. We'll place some blocks down and we can always fix this later. It doesn't have to be perfect. We can just get out of there. And while we're doing this, let's actually fill in the space where the window is going to be. I think it'll be right about there. So I don't know if this floor at this height is going to be the one. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to grab stairs. I meant to grab planks, but I guess I don't have any in my hotbar, so I will fix that in a second. All right, now that we have like a little bit of a base, I want to try to get this all linked up in a way that's going to make sense. And as we approach this wall here, we are going to have to fill in at least this part of the wall for now. Oh, I heard my dog walk into the room. He's probably just staring at the treats that are behind my chair. You know, actually, before I forget, does this look okay? I feel like this is okay, right? Because that thing's higher. We'll just fill that in really quick. I don't think it's going to matter too much, but let's see what it looks like from out front. Ooh. This is exactly the stuff I used to be worried about, where I would get so anxious about the idea of people seeing me like place a beam in 5 different places and not like any of them because I'm indecisive. But I think this is one instance where my first instinct was definitely right, and this beam should be here, regardless of where the other beams are. Yeah, that is better. Yeah, the more that I look at that, I think that was the right decision. Now, coming back to this side, I feel like this side looks better with it one higher, but now I'm confused. I'm scared. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks tall. I feel like that's fine though. I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it for now. We will come back to it later. I think this way is definitely the right way because it gives that upper window a little bit of room to breathe as well. It's actually so funny because this is exactly the scenario where I would have been like super, super embarrassed before and be like, oh my gosh, and no one can see this video ever because I didn't place it correctly the first time. It's just all part of the process, and that took me so long to get comfortable with and like learn, because I felt like no one would want to watch my videos if I was making like what I consider to be mistakes, even though it's not even really that big of a mistake. It was just like, you know, testing out different beam placements. But yep, that is better. So we will leave that there for now and we'll continue on with the build. Now, because we already have it like semi-started, and of course I covered up the part where we could jump up, let's go ahead and fill in the rest of this floor. And right now is actually the time in the video where I am remembering to remind you guys to stretch and hydrate and all of that. Make sure you take your meds, eat something if you haven't, you know, move your body in some way if possible. You know, it's a good reminder. We started recording over an hour ago, so I like to try to remind everyone to take care of themselves at least once a long play. Over on Twitch, I usually get a notification from my chat to remind myself to hydrate and to remind each other to hydrate. So it's always just a good idea to remind yourself to take care of yourself. And I'm noticing that we are probably going to have to make some more glass here because there's going to be more windows than I thought that they were going to be. I meant there were going to be. I think I said they. If I didn't, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I just need to make some glass. Oh my gosh. What is going on with me? But yeah, so let's go ahead. We're going to make some more of this barred glass, and then we can dye it really quick with our pink dye, and we can turn it into glass panes. Now, this is 36, so I'm hoping that should be more than enough to do all the windows that we're going to do up here in all these different sections. Before we get to that though, let's focus on actually finishing the floor. We need to add some more of our pine planks here. I don't know if 32 is going to be enough. I don't think it will be. I'm also thinking about what we're going to do for a staircase up here, but I'm thinking maybe we just add another floor of our elevator like we did down there. Because I do have some extra ones that I crafted while I was making the original 2 that I needed. I went ender pearl hunting, as you can see over here in the nether in the warped forest, and I even got a enderman capture card, so we should be able to set up a little mob farm for the enderman later on once we have everything all ready to go. I was actually pretty excited to get a capture card for the enderman as well, because I think that it's going to be super, super important to have more ender pearls, not only for future elevators, but also for like storage controllers and stuff later on. I don't know necessarily how much we're going to go into all of that stuff later on, but it's probably good to just be aware that we will need ender pearls for some of it. And to be 100% honest with you, I feel like hunting endermen is not really something I enjoy doing in a video in general, just because they're so loud. Especially not a long play video where like you're trying to relax or you know, do some chores or study in the background, you know, whatever you're doing. And for me, myself, I like to have long plays on while I play Minecraft, but also while I sleep. I just like to have something that's not super chaotic because I watch a lot of Elden Ring videos too, but sometimes I wake up to my Elden Ring YouTubers like yelling. And so having a long play on kind of just removes that because all the creators that I watch are not super chaotic when it comes to long plays. I like to have a little bit of noise in the house while I sleep because my cats are, you know, they're up all night and they're wild sometimes. They fight and that'll wake up my dog, and it's just easier if I have a little bit of sound in the room so he doesn't wake up as easily. All right, let's head downstairs and we'll remove this old staircase thing that we had. And I don't really love that you can't color coordinate the staircase or the elevator, sorry, anymore. But we're going to head back upstairs so we can fill in the rest of the wall. Oops, I thought I went up. I am so used to the noises being there. All right, let's get this all filled in. We're going to do the windows and we're going to fill in this whole wall. Oops, I did not mean to water bucket there. I do use scroll wheel for my Minecraft because I have small hands and I cannot hit like basically like I can do like 1, 2, 3. Anything other than that, I have to like double check and like look at my keyboard because I'm just not sure if I'm going to like reach it all the way. I could always change the buttons, but scroll wheel is just a little bit easier for me. But that's why you'll often see my pickaxe is on, you know, 2, my water bucket's on 1. Those are the buttons that I can like really reach, you know? One more section to go, but before we do that, let's go ahead and we're gonna torch up some of this place right here. There we go, just so nothing scary spawns, and let's get this one all filled in as well. All right, with that final window in and that torch, we're all lit up. We're all pretty much done. Although the roof is a little bit strange and we've got to fix that. I do remember that from earlier. Totally didn't forget about that till just that moment. There's just something weird about, I think, this like beam being shown in some spots and not in others. So let's see what we can do here. Can we just try, yeah, maybe something like that? I don't know if that's enough. Is that still weird? I don't know. Maybe we can cover that up. On its own, it looks a little bit weird. Let's try to get up there and fix this a little bit. Maybe I can just remove that one and then do a slab, but then you see the spruce plank. I wasn't really thinking about that. What if I just light this up and then cover the whole thing? I know it'll be like a little bit weird looking because it's like, it'll be flat, but I don't know if there's much else I can do to make this not look super weird. You know, I'm still not really convinced of the stair here, but I think without it, it also looks too weird. So hold on, let's try. Yeah, I just really don't like the stair, but I don't know if a full block is going to fix this. Maybe it will. Let's try a full block. It's better than the stair was, at least, I guess. I don't know. We are just going to have to pretend that we don't see the roof in this room. So when we come in here, guys, don't look up, okay? Okay, so next up, I definitely want to get a door on this place, but I don't think that I brought a door with me, and I probably have one already made. So let's go ahead and go back to the house and we'll grab a door. But first off, I want to sleep really quick because it is nighttime. So I'll grab our sleeping bag. And before we go back over to our starter house, I just want to check how this looks. And this is coming out very, very cute. And it's very, very pink. I'm really, really liking this actually. And now this other side is basically the exact same, but gotta watch out for that skeleton that we saw earlier. Don't know where he went. A little bit scary. But yeah, I think that this is coming out very, very cute. I really, really like this actually. Now, as I was saying, we are going to head back over to our starter base, not only just for the door that we're going to be putting on the front of our house, but also because we can grab the stuff that we're going to need to make our mob farms as well. And now that we have like a little bit of a basic structure kind of set up, we can find out how we're going to set up all the different farms. Now, we're not going to have every mob in there to start. I only have like cards from like a very select few, and I don't think I can make all the stuff for all the different kinds of farms, but I'm going to try my best to make as many as we possibly can today. And I know I probably said this earlier, but I'm just really excited to try this mod out. I've never tried it before. And it is a kind of like passive farming mob solution for like drops and stuff. So I'm very, very excited to see what we're going to be able to do with this. Because I don't want to build a giant mob farm in this cozy world. And I don't want to go fight the mobs all the time either. All right, horse, that still doesn't have a name, but will have a name at the end of this episode. Let's go ahead and leave you here. We'll go inside and grab our stuff. Okay, so at the bottom of our EMI bar here, I am going to type in the @ symbol and then easy, because this is going to be for like @easy mob farms. That's how you can search by mod. And there's lots of different types of farms, but we are going to look at this animal plains farm. So if we click on this, it's going to show us the recipe for it. So this is going to be all the different things that we need for the farm. And this is the recipe for the gold tier one. So we want to go to like the base tier, which I think is copper. How do I do, like, where's the copper one? Oh, I guess it's on the second page. Okay, so we're going to need to make this mob farm template, which is just some copper, a hopper, and some glass. That's not too expensive. I am wondering though, are we able to upgrade these after we make them? So if we make like the copper tier one, can we upgrade it to the gold tier? Which I don't know if that's possible. It doesn't look like it from like the crafting recipes. So I don't think so, but let's go ahead. We'll grab, oh, I guess you can upgrade the mob base template. Oh, there's a netherite one. Oh my gosh. Oh, and we can directly craft a tier 2 one without even doing the copper step. So we do have a bunch of iron that I mined in between episodes. So we could use iron and get a tier 2 one. Now it is a little bit expensive because we do also have to make hoppers, but I have some extra iron in my backpack that I've been saving up for a rainy day like today. Even though it's not raining, it is actually quite warm outside. So let's grab some logs here. We'll use those to make some of our chests for our hoppers. Also, sorry if I'm like a little bit all over the place. I have not really looked into this besides looking at some of like the more obscure items that we were going to need. Okay, let's make up our chest for our hoppers. And then, oh my gosh, my inventory is so full. Let me get rid of this dark oak log. I'll just put that in my backpack for now. And then we can go ahead and craft up our hoppers. And there we go. We've got our hoppers. And now we can go ahead and put those at the bottom. And then we've got our iron around it. And then, oh, I'm missing glass. I forgot to grab that. So now that we have our glass, we can put that in here. We've got the hoppers and we've got the iron, and there we go. We can make our tier 2 mob farm templates. Now from here, we're going to turn some of these into our passive mob farms, our animal plains mob farms. And we need, I think we have all of that except for feathers. So yeah, we don't have any feathers and we only have 1 egg as well. So that's kind of a problem. Also, yes, I did see that correctly. I thought it was a cat. It is a cat. Why would you farm cats? I guess you could farm cats for a string, but why would you ever do that when spiders exist? Okay, let me go into this other backpack really quick. I'm just gonna drop off a bunch of stuff here really fast that we don't need anymore necessarily in our hands. And then we're gonna go and look for some chickens. So I do have a wheat seed here. We'll put that in our offhand. But we are going to need both chicken eggs and feathers. So we're going to have to hopefully find a couple so we can breed them and then, you know, cull the herd or flock or whatever it's called for a chicken. I'm not 100% sure. When I was making my barn a couple episodes ago, I probably should have made like a little chicken coop as well, but I just wasn't thinking of that. I almost never farm chickens for myself. And that's 100% related to the fact that I cannot stand the way that their feet sound when they're walking around. If you guys have never listened to a chicken, just like really, really focus on the sound of their feet when they're walking. It is so off-putting to me. It's like nails on a chalkboard. But in the interest of passively farming mobs, I will put up with it just this once. And I feel like I did see a bunch of chickens up this way, so hopefully I'm not misremembering. Oh, yep, there we go. There's a chicken. Hello. Hi, buddy. Let's go. Oh, there's an egg. Nice. Okay, let's go this way. Let me try to make you a nice little pathway here. All right, come on. And if you have any friends, I am not going to hurt you. I am just going to give you food and make you fall in love. So if you have any friends that wants to join, maybe fall in love, maybe get a little food. I feel like I heard another chicken. Yeah, there's one up there. Okay, awesome. Is this your friend? Or, okay, this is a stranger chicken. You don't know this one? Okay, that's fine. You will know each other very, very soon. Very well. Unfortunately for now, you will just be living in a hole outside of my house because I did not make you a chicken coop, but eventually I will upgrade you to a full chicken coop, I promise. That would actually be a really, really good stream project, just like a little build. I think I also want to do that with horse stables around for, you know, the horses that we have in the barn right now, and then also my horse. Also, just letting you guys know, if there's ever a stream that I'm talking about and you're like, oh my gosh, I really hope that one day I can like watch the streams back or something. I do have a live streams playlist over on my channel, on my profile. So if you go to the playlists tab, you'll see all of my past live streams. There's also a bunch of other playlists for like all of my long plays and other series, my 100 days videos, my movies, etc. It's a great place to go if you just want to put something on in the background and have, you know, just all Frogcrafting all day play. I mean, no pressure to do that, of course, but just in case you're wondering and want to check it out, feel free. I always feel so awkward trying to like self-promo myself in a video because I don't want to be like annoying, because I sometimes find that annoying. So I hope that I do it enough that it's not overwhelming for you guys, but also can kind of just promote my other videos a little bit. All right, guys, I'm just going to build you a little hole over here. Oh, well, okay, give me a sec. I did not anticipate this. Oh, okay, we're already coming down. That's great. I am constantly going into the wrong backpack. I really need to get used to using my backpacks again. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. All right, everyone, stay in the hole, please. Are we gonna get lucky from this egg? Oh, we did get lucky. Okay, nice. Okay, let me get some seeds because I only have one, and then we can breed up the other chickens as well. I have an absolute ton of seeds up here from our wheat farm already, so that should be no problem to breed up our chickens. Okay, now as promised, I did say that you guys were going to have some food and fall in love, so both of those things have now happened, so I did not lie about that. And you have a child and another child from an egg that one of you dropped, so technically you have 2 kids. Now, over in the XP farm, I do believe that I have a couple of feathers from chickens that spawned with the zombies. But let's just go ahead and make sure that we have the rest of the materials so we can bring everything over and then craft them over there. So we still need some eggs, some wheat. Yeah, we'll have to wait for the eggs. We also need grass. But I don't see any other eggs that we have in this food chest, and I threw that other one. But I do believe, yeah, we had one over in the mob items chest. Do I have any grass in my foliage chest? No, but grass is honestly not a big issue. We can just get that with some shears. That's not a big issue. Now, we definitely need to see how many eggs and feathers and stuff that we will need. At least to start out with, because we can always upgrade this again later. So our mob cards, we have a pig and we have a cow. We also have a salmon. But I do believe salmon goes in a different thing. I think there's like an ocean one. Yeah, ocean farm. Suited for water-based mobs. Oh, but that needs a sea lantern. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be possible for us today. There are a bunch of other farms too. So there's a desert farm. Oh, there's a beehive farm, a jungle farm. I don't really know what exotic creatures that means. Nether fortress farm, iron golem farm. I believe that there's also froglight ones in here as well. Now for our mob farms, we're going to need stone, glow lichen, gold, and we're going to need cobwebs, which I did get cobwebs between episodes because I did see that I would need that. Do I have any glow lichen? Yes. And we can always make more with our bones. We can bone meal that up right now. And in the last episode, if you guys remember, we went to a geode and it intersected with a mine shaft. And that's where I got all of those cobwebs from. I went there in between episodes because I really just didn't want to go back there for just that in this episode. Just so we could focus mostly on the task at hand and not get, you know, distracted by a random side mission. All right, now looking at this, we've got glow lichen, we've got cobwebs, we've got iron. We needed some gold as well. And we need stone, which I do believe we have some. And then the other thing we also needed was clay blocks, which is only going to be enough for 4, but we can make some more. Okay, and then we can make our monster plain caves farm, but we just gotta find the right recipe. I think it's this one. Yep, there we go. We can make 9 of those. I don't know how many we need. Hold on, let's see. Oh, let me organize these a little bit. So these ones are the hostile mobs. I don't know if pillager counts. Salmon doesn't, spider does, enderman does. Glow squid doesn't. Okay, without the pillager and without the double skeleton, we need 5 of these, I think. Let's go ahead and make a couple more of these. And oops, I meant to hit shift for that, but I accidentally did not hit shift for that. All right, 2 more and that would be 5. But I'm going to bring the rest of this with us so we can do a little bit of testing there because I do think I do want to have 2 skeleton ones. What I am going to do here, though, is I'm going to throw out all of these cards on the ground so I can put them in our backpack, and that way we can just have them over at the other place. Then we'll just pop those all in our backpack for safekeeping until we put them away later at the new XP/mob farm cottage that we built, and we'll also grab our tulips. I don't think I need any of this other stuff, although I will grab some leaves here. We'll put some more stuff away. That way we don't have to come back for the leaves later. Although I'll probably forgot something and I'll have to come back anyways. I'm trying to think, do we need any more wood? Should I just grab some to be safe? Probably, huh? I probably should do that. And it does look like it's nighttime outside, so let's go sleep really quick. Now, part of me is very, very excited about the mob farms, but I'm also very excited to go over and decorate the rest of our house as well. This is always like my favorite part of building a house is all the decorating that you're able to do. Oh, but before we go, let's just double check. Are there any eggs? I don't see any. So we will have to come back in a little bit and check for some eggs again. But for now, we can go over with the stuff that we have to start setting up some of our mob farms. Oh my gosh, I just realized I forgot to get a door. That was like one of the reasons that we were going over to the house was to get a door. I completely forgot. Oh my goodness. And let's see. Okay, yep, I do have feathers down here as I thought. We still only have 1 egg, so we can only make 1 farm at this time, but that's fine. Why am I going outside? I don't need to go outside. Let's light this up down here just to be safe. And I'm feeling very overwhelmed at the state of my inventory. Oh my goodness. Okay, first priority, let's grab some spruce. This is gonna go great because we are going to take that and make a door finally. So we've got a spruce door here. I feel like that'll look nice with our pink that we've got going on. Now, I feel a little bit safer with that there. Now, to make our first animal farm... Oh, we are also still missing the grass. Okay, so we're going to have to go out and bone meal up the ground so we can get some grass really quick. And then we can just use some shears here to grab all of that. Now, eventually we will probably have to come out and get some more or farm some more, but right now this will do just fine. Let's just make sure. I think we got it all. Now, back inside here, we can go ahead and make our animal plains farm. And we are going to make the iron tier. And we can make exactly one of these just because we only have one egg. And now, how are we going to set these up? Do we want to take it upstairs, or do we want to do like maybe passive mobs on the first floor? Wait, that's so cute on the inside. I didn't know all that stuff was going to render on there. I wonder if the animals also render. So let's grab the cow capture card and then we can... Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Now, this is the inside of the farm GUI, and we can use some enhancements to enhance the farm's output. There's like a lot of different stuff. And hovering over this info thing, okay, so it'll take about 26 ticks per second. Oh, okay, so that's how long it'll take to actually produce something. That's very interesting. Okay, and then I'm assuming down here is the output, and then, oh, it also looks like there's like a little progress bar here in the middle that'll go up. And like the little cow is me. He's like following my mouse around. That's so funny. Now, the main question I have is this going to automatically like output to a chest below it? So if we make a chest, is that going to get the output? I'm unsure if this will work. We might have to wait a little bit, but I do have some ideas in case it doesn't work that we can go for later on. But we will have to wait to see once this produces something. So let's take our other hostile mob farms upstairs and we can go ahead and start setting these up. Oh my gosh, there's like a little pickaxe in there. That's cute. And I don't know if this is going to be like the most aesthetic way to set these up, but we're just trying stuff out for now. So we're going to do a spider in one of these. And then let's grab a bunch more of these. So we've got our creeper one. Oh, the crafting thing is open and there's just so many things in my inventory. Let's get rid of all of this. So we'll do a skeleton. We've got the Enderman we definitely want to put in there. So skeleton, creeper, and Enderman. I'm actually glad to see that the Enderman does work. So yep, it is working. It's getting progress towards the bar. And the creeper is working. Oh, okay, cool. This is awesome. They all give 5 XP drops. And this says requires sword enhancement for some loot. Oh, probably for spider eyes. Okay. Okay, we will worry about that later, but this other one over here, I wonder if the pillager can go in it. It doesn't really spawn in a cave, but... Oh, okay, that works. I don't think pillagers drop anything though, so that might just be XP, but we're gonna have to wait and see what it drops, because I don't know if it drops anything. Now, I'm wondering if this might be a little bit wild, but what if we had 2 skeleton ones, because... I really feel like bones are just something that we're going to need quite a lot of. So if I put this skeleton, maybe I can move both skeletons to be next to each other. Should be able to just break that. This shows a copper one, but that was weird. Maybe just like a little glitch with the shaders or something. I thought it was going to be a copper one, but there we go. We've got 2 skeleton ones, which are good because that'll be good for bone meal. And then, yeah, let's move the pillager as well. It showed it again. So maybe it just has like a weird drop texture. I don't know. All right, cool, cool, cool. We will let all of these start to produce some materials so we can see kind of like what everything is going to produce. And I don't think that's going to work. And it's not done yet anyways, but you can't open the chest. So I don't think that's going to work. I'm wondering if a barrel might work, but I think we have some in the backpack. Yeah, we do. So I'm wondering if this is going to work. We'll just try that and kind of wait for it, see what happens. Oh, we've still got quite a while to go. So these are a little bit slower than, you know, you'd expect. It's not like you're getting infinite mob loot like right away. But we can also focus on doing some of the decoration and stuff for outside. So here, let's go ahead. We'll grab some spruce because I also want to go ahead and make some flower boxes. And if we look up the recipe for that, we are going to need, these are from the Another Furniture mod. I really like these. We need some slabs as well as some dirt. But luckily, all of this stuff is pretty easy for us to craft, and we can just go ahead and grab these right now. And then we can take these outside, and we are going to put them at the bottom of our windows because they are very, very, very cute. I actually miss these flower boxes when I am not playing with this mod because I feel like these flower boxes just work so well. And we're going to also get rid of the outline for the house finally, so we can put all of that dirt away and get rid of all that path block. But all right, it is time to grind. It is time to lock in and decorate and detail our house. So let's get to this. Now, as far as flowers go for inside the boxes, I do want to try to find some pink tulips to kind of match the pink vibe of the cottage. So there are some right over here. I don't know exactly how many there are. Oh, this looks like plenty, actually. We just grab all these up. Because later on, we are going to make a greenhouse with botany pots, so it doesn't really matter if we are taking some of these now, because we can always replace them later. I don't know if 19 is quite going to be enough. I think there's another patch over by the house. Yeah, right over here. Let's grab some more of these. All right, and now these can just go right in our flower boxes. Now, some of those other pink flowers from like the meadow mod could have been really, really pretty for this, but I don't think you can bone meal those, and you also can't put them in botany pots. So I will have to find a big meadow and like collect a bunch of them. That way we can use them in the future. Honestly, that is definitely going to be like a stream thing where we go to all those meadow biomes. I also need to get way more of that limestone than we currently have. I currently am like sort of running out a little bit, but I mean, it is me. So running out could mean like, oh, my 57 shulkers I have of spruce wood are down to 56. So I'm running out, you know? There is another flower box out here at the front, and let's make a little bit of a staircase here because we're going to have to get up on that roof anyways for leaves and stuff later. We can just kind of leave this here for now. And let's go check on our mob farms. Okay, so nothing has gone into the barrel here. Did it produce? Yes. 1 raw beef. It produced 1 raw beef. Okay, it is about to produce something else. Let's see upstairs. What do we got? Oh, I keep thinking that I'm going up, but I didn't actually go up. Okay, we've got a string. We've got nothing. So yeah, this doesn't drop anything. I'm unsure why you can farm it if it doesn't drop anything. We'll have to come back to this later. We've got, ooh, some gunpowder. Not bad. Ender pearl. We've got some arrows and some bones and some arrows and some bones. Nice. All right, now for storing all of these items, I'm wondering, can we use sophisticated storage? There are storage barrels in that mod that we can craft. And there are also upgrades, including a hopper upgrade, which can pull items from the block on top. And this isn't too bad. It's a lot of iron. It's kind of iron heavy, but we can try it and see if it works before we commit to making a bunch of them. But I don't have any redstone on me. I didn't bring any because I just wasn't thinking of that solution. So we are going to have to go and get some from the base. Oh, but it is nighttime. And you know, I knew it was nighttime and I just didn't sleep, but that's okay. We can just sleep really quick and then we'll be on our way. Hey, Mr. Horsey, I'm so sorry we have to go back again. I'm sorry. I just didn't check and make sure that I had everything. I'm so sorry. I definitely have to craft some golden carrots to give this horse some golden carrots as a treat because they are definitely getting their, you know, time in today. All this way for a couple of pieces of redstone, although, you know, it's not a total wash. That is not my valuables chest. I was so confused. I'm like, where is my redstone? Then I realized. Also, I should probably grab some more iron. I think I just have ore left. That's okay. We can fortune that up and smelt it. All right, we've got our fortune 3 pickaxe here. Let's go outside and smelt this up. I meant fortune this up, not smelt it up. Oops, did not mean to place one there. It has been quite a while since I've made a flex pile. Not that this is really a flex pile, it's just a pile of ore. But let's go ahead and we'll stack it up. Look at how beautiful that light is. My favorite part of having shaders on is just how those like shadows move and the light shafts come through and how like the water looks. It's just so good. Also, has anyone tried the Mojang shaders? I do believe they're called Vibrant Visuals and they're only on Bedrock right now, but when they come to Java, I'm definitely probably going to try them out because they look really pretty. But if you have tried them out, let me know what you think of them. I'm super excited to hear your opinions. And also I saw recently that we're also getting the Copper Golem finally, which gives me so much hope for the Moo Bloom someday. There are a lot of interesting and new things that are coming to this next Minecraft update that has been revealed so far. I can't wait to see the rest of it. Okay, so we got a stack and a half of iron from this that we can go ahead and smelt up in our backpack. Honestly, a little bit unlucky for Fortune 3, I feel, but you know, it's fine. It was better than only getting 44 iron. All right, before we go back over there, let's grab some more wood, and I also want to grab our sawmill because I forgot that last time. Also, if you're wondering what that little fire particle you might keep seeing is, it's because we're smelting in our backpack. So our backpack puts out a little particle trail of fire. And I find that just very cute, like a cute detail to add. But let's grab our lead here, if I can manage that. Get on our horse. Oh, but you know what? Actually, let's check it. Do we have any eggs? I don't see any. But let's breathe them up. We'll grab our wheat seeds here and not free cam, trying to change my camera view. Here we go. Oh, there is an egg down there. I just couldn't see it from the angle. Okay. So nope. You are staying down there for now. I will build you a house someday, but not today. At least there is our extra 1 egg that we needed for the pig capture card that we can put in a thing later on, a mob farm. I don't know why, but I feel like I forget words constantly while I'm talking, especially when I'm talking this much. Wait, are we gonna have to remove those trees there for like a little bit of a better view of the house and like the valley? I don't know if I love that. Like, I don't mind like a little hint of a, you know, a peek of it kind of coming around from the trees, but I don't know if I love it being like fully covered like that either. We'll have to figure that out. Let's grab our lead here in our hands so we can just easily tie up our horse. Why? That was weird. Why couldn't I walk up there? That was so strange. Okay, let's tie you up here, buddy. And we'll head back in and get some more work done. Now, first, let's check on what else have we produced. Ooh, some leather and some more meat. That's pretty good. But we are here to work on a storage solution, so we are going to grab this barrel because we can convert this barrel into a sophisticated storage barrel by making some redstone torches. Then if we take our redstone torches and we combine them with our regular barrels, it makes them sophisticated storage barrels, which we can put under our mob farm here. Now, these look a little bit more like vanilla barrels than our Mizuno's barrels, but inside they're very different because they have an upgrade slot. So in that slot, we can put our hopper upgrade. But to make our hopper upgrade, we are going to need an upgrade base, which is right here. And that is just some planks and some iron. And then to make the actual hopper upgrade, we need hoppers, we need redstone, and we need iron, which we have. And then we can place it inside the barrel. And we are getting this stuff hoppered out, which is awesome. So as you can see up top, there's no items left. And down here, we can also upgrade this so that there's like more storage space and everything, because we can craft these iron upgrades. So like the basic to iron tier upgrade just takes a redstone torch and some more iron. And then we can just right click that on here. And now this is an iron barrel, which is basically the same size as a double chest. And it has another upgrade slot as well. And we'll probably come back in here with a stack upgrade so that each space can hold more than one stack. But that's this barrel. But I want to do all the ones upstairs as well before we upgrade any further. And up here we have 6 of these mob farms. So we are going to need 6 hopper upgrades. So we're going to need some more upgrade bases. Let me get all of this stuff crafted really, really quick. All right, so we've got our barrels, we've got our upgrades, and we've got our hopper upgrades as well. So let's go ahead and make these all our iron tier barrels. And then we can put a hopper upgrade in each one of them. This one still has not dropped anything, but it says that it drops experience, but I don't really understand how to get it to drop the experience. I'm assuming we have to use an upgrade for this, so let's just take a quick look at that. Experience enhancement allows the mob farm to collect experience orbs as experience bottles. Oh, okay, that's actually pretty cheap. Requires a mob that yields at least 3 experience points, which we have, and it has a drop chance of 1 in 5. So I am assuming that that means that for about every 5 mobs that die every 5 cycles, it'll drop 1. So I guess in this one you can only get experience, but in the future we can put XP upgrades in all of these, so all of these have a chance of dropping XP. Now the Enderman has only dropped 1 Ender Pearl, but I guess it's a lesser chance. I wonder if we can like upgrade that. This is a sword enhancement. This one generates loot as if killed by a player with a sword, so I don't think that's right. Enhances the quality of loot, quantity, sorry, of loot. That's pretty cheap. It just takes some nether quartz and some emeralds and stuff, which I don't think we have a ton of emeralds, but we can definitely get a villager over here for that. So if we upgrade these with like an experience enhancement and then a quantity enhancement, that would be pretty good because then we get a lot of loot and some XP as well. I don't have any nether quartz on me, but the next time that we go back over to the house, I will grab some so we can make those experience enhancements for all of these. But let's go back downstairs because I do want to make another pen over here for the pigs because we did have a pig card as well. And there we go. We've got another animal farm. So this one will be for our piglets. And I gotta grab the capture card. What else do I have? Salmon and cow. Yeah, we're not going to use those yet, but this will just be another way to get food and it'll be great for like the modded cooking as well. But this does mean that I'm going to have to craft all of that stuff that we just crafted all over again from the sophisticated mod. So just give me a second. Let me craft all this stuff up. At its core, this looks super complicated, I feel, if you're like new to modded, but this is not a very difficult thing. It's just kind of annoying because I don't really have like a storage system with like an interface set up. But I feel like when I first started modded, I was just like so overwhelmed by the amount of items and what they all did and stuff, and just playing around with it has been really the way that I've learned how to do stuff. And if you are new to modded and you want to learn more about it and you want to try out these two mods, I would definitely recommend them. They're great for beginners. Okay, and with that, we've got both of these passive mob farms set up, so we are going to be generating food and leather, which is like huge, just to generate in the background. Now, the pigs are too low to get XP from, but this one we can, so I guess some of the passive mobs we can also get XP from. Let me get rid of this torch, and then I'm going to put down our saw again because I want to make a bunch more barrels. And we're going to use these barrels to kind of set up potential future spots for some more mobs to go. Because there's obviously a lot of mobs that we are not farming here that we can eventually set up in this room as well. So like over here, we could do probably like a chicken and a sheep. Because I do believe that sheep is something that you can farm with this mod. But yeah, if we just kind of put all of these barrels down where we think that we might farm some mobs in the future, at least that's one step done for later that we won't have to worry about. I don't know if we'll ever need all of these barrels at once, but at least we have like a little bit of like a framework or a setup going so that it's a little bit easier for us later on. And you know, just to be silly here, I am going to put some glass over these just so it looks like we have some kind of mob farm going, even though it's obviously just glass and not the actual mob farm. Though I will say, I don't know if I love the corner ones because the glass panes are attaching, so maybe we replace these with just empty space for now. I don't know. Maybe we can find some other thing that we can put in the corner, or, you know, maybe just some like clutter or something that we can put there. But we could, instead of having them in the corners here, we could put them over in these like little weird divots that we made. That way we still have the same amount of mob farms, but it's just spread out a little bit differently. But that does leave us the question of what to do with this big empty space in the middle. So I'm kind of thinking two options, but let's start out with the first option. Maybe like we can put a table in the middle and put some like decorations and stuff on it. Let's try to get that set up a little bit because I don't know how that's going to look, but let's just give it a shot here. Ooh, I don't know if I actually want the table to be this big. Hold on, let me think about this. Let's remove all of this first, and then we can kind of try to think about this again. So that's like the middle of the room. Yeah, I guess it does sort of have to be a little bit bigger than I thought it would have to be. But maybe something like that, just kind of like a big work table in the middle of the room. Maybe we can put something on there, like maybe the mob farm template? I mean, we can always pick it up if we want to use it later, right? I think I also want to keep some of this stuff over here, like I said, like the salmon capture cards, and maybe we could also leave some of these like upgrade bases over here. But I do think I want to actually go ahead and grab some of these chests and stuff and just kind of like clutter this up a little bit and make it look a little bit messy. This building is kind of like a storage building, right? If you think about it, because the mob farms, I mean, they are storing items. So I guess these chests kind of just work in that way. And you've got like all the barrels and stuff there with it. And I want to go ahead and make some lanterns too in here, but I think I actually want to make dark oak. And of course it is thunderstorming. So let's go ahead and sleep really quick. Now for the lanterns that we're going to be making here, we're going to need to make some dark oak slabs, which we can easily do right now from the sawmill. And then we will use these similar to how we did last time to make some lanterns. And we'll replace all of our torches. So we'll put them in the corners over here. And these just give off such a warm, cozy, like homey light. I really, really love them. I feel like these lanterns specifically just really match the aesthetic of the pack we're going for. They are so, so pretty. And of course, we're going to put them all over outside as well. So let's go ahead and get these all set up on the edges of all of our trim here. This might be a little bit overkill, but I just really like my buildings to be well lit up so that nothing is spawning like directly on top of me. Now, I don't know if I want to do any up on the top yet. We'll worry about that later when we come back to that staircase and stuff, but I do think I actually want to add another one over here on the table just for some more ambiance. And I want to add some more clutter and stuff in through here, but let's go ahead first and grab some crafting tables. Those are always a good choice for some clutter. We can just kind of drop them anywhere. And now this room is starting to fill up, but let's go upstairs and also work on the room upstairs if I can ever figure out these elevators. We're also going to take these torches off the top over here, but I think I want to actually hang our lanterns from some chains up here because we just have a little bit more room. So okay, and then let's just try to evenly kind of space these out. So we'll do it one away from the wall here, and then here in the middle, and then on the other side, we will also do it one away from the wall. That way it's kind of like evenly spaced throughout the room. And right about there should be right. So we can just hang our lantern there, and now we can get rid of these torches, and now we have a very beautifully lit room. Oh, a couple of these extra torches here. Completely forgot about those. And maybe we could actually replace where those torches were with some more lanterns. So we'll put one here and one here just to have some light like coming out of the windows. And let's just do a little double check here. What are we looking like? Oh, these are producing along nicely. It was still just one ender pearl. We're definitely going to have to make some kind of an enhancement for this for like the looting quantity because, I mean, one ender pearl every, hour is probably not that good. But we will come back to that in a little bit. All of those upgrades are just way too expensive for us right now. And we will worry about that later. Let's worry about fixing up this attic and making a bunch of clutter to go up here. Now, me personally, I am a girly who loves a pile of barrels and chests. That is like my favorite clutter with some crafting stations and stuff. That looks amazing to me personally. I don't know what it is about this. It just gives me like your grandma's attic that she has not been in since like 1974. You know what I mean? Now for these mob cards that we're not using, I want to get farms for them eventually, but for now we can just put them in this chest over here. The glow squid and the salmon we definitely have to come back for in the future because we don't have the stuff to make that ocean farm. Yeah, we need seagrass, we need our sea lantern, that's the huge one. But if we find any monuments while we're out and about exploring the world, we can always make some of those because we do have silk touch, so we can silk touch up the sea lanterns. Okay, next up I want to worry about decorating the outside of the house. So let's grab these leaves here and we're going to just start peppering those in. Just thinking about this, thinking out loud here, while we are doing the leaves, we can also add in all of our spruce stairs and trapdoors and stuff. Because the detailing is looking a little bit lacking right now. Ah, okay, you cannot make trapdoors out of planks. You need the actual logs. So we'll do that really quick and grab some trapdoors. But now we can actually fill in all of these gaps that we left earlier and fix that going all the way around the house. I can't pick that up because I have, oh my gosh, just so much stuff. And you know, every single episode of the series that goes by, I'm like, this is the episode. I'm not going to have the most messy backpack ever this episode. I'm going to change. I'm going to turn over a new leaf. People in the comments are going to be wondering, is this a new frog sea rafting? And I'll be like, yes, it is. It's a frog sea rafting, and the C stands for completely organized. But alas, every episode goes by and nothing actually changes. And instead of being a new frog sea rafting, I am the same old frog sea rafting. And the C stands for continuously messy backpack. Now these leaves sitting here are kind of cute, right? Like they're not too much. But I did see some comments on some of the videos where like every episode the frog sea rafting changes and it's always a different sea. I'm glad that you guys also find that funny, like a little bit that kind of just like is making fun of like my name and just stuff that I do. The whole frog sea rafting thing actually started because of Twitch. There was just somebody in the chat once that was like asking me like how I could craft frogs, and I was like, no, you've got this wrong. Sea is my middle name. Rafting is my last name. You know, actually, I think it would be nice if we did add a little bit of a pond back here to use this waterfall, but we will worry about that another time. But yeah, I was like trying to troll my chat a little bit by saying like, oh, we come from a family of rafters. We love tubing, you know? But if you've ever wondered where the frog sea rafting thing all started, that's where it started, was just a silly joke that I was trying to troll some Twitch chatters with. Because as a streamer, who can you really gaslight if you can't gaslight your own chat about anything? But that is said as a total joke, by the way. I don't mean that in any like serious sense whatsoever. Also, I don't want to actually make a pathway yet because we don't have all of the blocks that we've been using for the other pathways around, but we can kind of carve one out here really quick just to help us for later. And something I like to do with my paths is that I kind of like to curve them a little bit just because it's not always the most interesting when they're kind of like all straight and stuff, so I'm not super worried about it being perfect right now at this stage, but I just want it to be like a little bit interesting. Now, eventually we will have to curve it kind of through here, and we do want to get rid of all these trees that are kind of in front of the house, just so we have a little bit of a better view of the house from our starter house. And sorry, let me just get all this stuff out of my inventory again. Oh my gosh. I am such a mess. And we'll chop down some more of these trees, but I also think this would be a good opportunity to grab some more leaves as well. Because, I mean, these trees are just going to despawn anyway, so we might as well take their leaves. We don't really need the saplings that much. Yeah, I think once all those leaves are gone, that's definitely going to be a better view. And then over here, I still think I want to do some kind of horse stable. Because I do feel like we'll be in this area a lot, like grabbing XP and enchanting and stuff. And then we'll need a path from here up to the enchanting area as well. And that could go one of two ways. It could go like a direct pathway like up here, or it could be like a main road type of situation. And here on the map, I can kind of show you. So this is like a main pathway through our base so far. If that kind of snakes up over here towards this area, that could also link up as well. But that's something that I will figure out in the future because I just like to yap and talk to you guys about like how I think about things and my process and stuff. But this whole spot over here looks a little bit weird to me, so let's try to fix this up a little bit. And just by adding a few blocks there, we made this look a little bit more natural, but also gave it some extra breathing room on that like ledge or platform or however you want to call that. Maybe layer would be a good word. But now we can go ahead and start to girly popify, aka oak leaf, the roof. And you guys already know there's no such thing as too many oak leaves. But I'm also going to add a chimney on the back of this too with some stone bricks. I thought we had some more stone, but we will have to grab some more at some point. Alright, let's see what this is looking like. Is this too many leaves? I mean, there's no such thing as too many leaves, but sometimes there's like a too much of a smattering in one area, if that makes sense. It does look a little leaf heavy right there. Maybe we can kind of edit that a little bit. Also, sorry, this is the part of the video where I'm usually out of stuff to talk about, so I just kind of be quiet while I'm building. Alright, but now let's take another look here. That does look better, but I do think I want to go ahead and like connect these in the middle. But we'll get there. We'll add something right there. Oh, let's see how it looks if we back out over here. It does look a lot better with those other trees gone. That birch tree I think I'm going to leave, but maybe I'll get rid of this oak and maybe like those oaks right there, that like little patch of oaks. I definitely think that chopping the rest of those trees though was the right call. Now let's get some sleep before we go back out and start doing some more building. Before we head out, let's go ahead and grab a bite of our morning steak. I personally also love to have a full steak first thing in the morning. But I want to grab a little bit more stone before we go up onto the roof because I don't know exactly how high we're going to have to make this stone brick chimney that we're making. So I just want to grab a little bit of extra stone before we go back down there. Or back up there, I should say. I do have a bunch of stone over at the base, but it's just, that's so far away. But when I was mining out the XP farm area, I grabbed a bunch of stone and a bunch of cobble. I have it all in some backpacks over at the base. And we still do have to go back to the base at least one more time for some extra materials for some barrel upgrades or mob farm upgrades. But, you know, this is just easier because I want to get the chimney on now so that way we don't have to worry about it. And at this point, I'm probably just going to be overgathering, but I'd just rather have a little bit more than I need than not enough, as I always say. But alright, let's get out of here really quick. We can just jump up and then cover this back up, and it's like that never happened. Sorry for stopping randomly in the middle like that. I was just taking a sip of my water because being a yapper like this, especially for hours, I feel like I have to drink a lot of water to stay hydrated. But yeah, I'm going to take a moment here. I'm going to do some more leaf decoration here on the roof and then we'll get this chimney on. Now, jump scaring you back in with my voice after a minute of not talking, but over here on this backside, like I said, I do want to put the chimney back here. So we're going to need to make up a couple of campfires for the top of it for that smoke. And then I think we're going to keep this relatively plain with just some stone brick. I don't think we really need to make it too fancy here. Especially because it's already kind of like a fancy colored roof. So if we keep this a little bit more simple, it won't like detract from the, you know, the roof. But I definitely feel like that is a principle that I try to follow in building, is that I try whatever I want like the focus and the centerpiece of my build to be. Well, maybe not centerpiece because like the roof is on top, but you know what I mean? Whatever I want the actual focus to be on, wherever I want your eye to be drawn, that's where I want the most detail or the most color, the most pop, and everything else I want to be a little bit more simple. So that way it doesn't like overpower all of those other elements. But if you are doing a lot of cozy building, I definitely feel like that's something that you could always kind of think about when you're building. Like, what do you want the most focus to be on with the build? And I think I missed one. Yep, I did. But we just got to make sure that this is just tall enough to kind of come over the top of the roof there. And then this is a neat trick I learned. So if you don't want to burn your feet, you can put down some dirt or a temporary block and then put your trapdoors on the outside of that block and then put them down. And then you remove the dirt and you put your campfires in the middle. And usually if I'm only putting in 2 campfires, I like to put them in diagonally to each other just so it has a little bit more of appearance of the smoke going up in different directions. And now we can keep going in decorating our roof here. I always like to do this like little chain of leaves kind of around the chimney as if like ivy is growing up the chimney. I don't know why, I just love that idea. It's so whimsical. But we will just give this whole back section a good little leafing. It doesn't have to be perfect back here because we're not going to see it that often. But just in case we walk back here, we'll be like, why is that roof so empty? And then if we pop into free cam here, let's just make sure that this is looking right before we are finished. And yeah, I mean, it just kind of pops over the top there, and it is a large roof. So, I mean, it is kind of silly. You can't really see it, but also you see like a hint of it. But from the back, it's so tall. It's such a tall chimney. You know, I'm just going to say it's whimsical. It's whimsical, and whimsy doesn't need to follow any rules. It can just be what it is. Oh my gosh, I have distracted myself so much from all of the rest of this that I did not even realize that we did not finish at all detailing the outside of this build. Well, I guess there we go. Let me get this all done. Oh yeah, that is just so much better with it being a little bit more rounded out there. I really, really like that. This side is done, and I think we did the front as well. All right, we can get rid of this dirt here now, and then on our sides over here, we still have the top section to add some details to, so we can go up, and then we'll jump over. This is awkward. I was not expecting to miss that jump. There we go. First try. If you saw something else, no, you didn't. Okay, we brought the stairs all the way across, and I think that's cute. It kind of matches what we have on the bottom, so I feel like that works. I don't think we can put any flower boxes underneath those windows up there because I think it has to go under the block where the glass panes are. I mean, we could try, but we have that beam there, so I don't know how that's gonna go. Yeah, it's not letting me put them there, but it does go in between. Is that weird? Is that weird if we have flower boxes in between? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this. I don't hate it, actually. And then we'll just add a couple more leaves over here. That way it looks a little bit more overgrown. But yeah, here we go. We're going to add in a bunch of extra details all around the entire house like this. So you guys know the drill. Unless I have something important to say, I'm just going to be quiet. I'm out of stuff to yap about at this point in the video. I have no idea what to talk about anymore, but I still want to finish up this build and make it look nice. So we will do that in companionable silence. All right, coming back in here, let's see what that looks like with the lattice added. Oh, I love that. You guys know lattice is one of my favorite things to add to all of my builds. So we're definitely going to have to, you know, put some going around on this house. I mean, not too much, of course, we don't want to overdo it, but I just really, really love the look of lattice. I want to do the same thing over on this other section over here just because that is looking a little bit plain now. So let's get that done as well. Now, before we go get the last couple of things that we're going to need for today, I just want to take a quick look over here because I feel like when I was looking at this earlier when we were building the chimney, it was looking a little bit weird. And I think it's just this one part right here that looked a little bit strange, but now I feel like that looks a lot better. And let's just take another loot update. We've got 11 gunpowder now. Ooh, 4 ender pearls is pretty good. Still nothing from him, and some string as well. Yeah, I mean, it's not going super fast, but I feel like it's okay for the amount that we're getting, and I obviously don't have to fight the mobs myself, which is huge. It's quite a bit of meat and leather, though. Wow. It would actually be perfect if we could get a chicken and a sheep for over there. That'll come later, though. I want to sleep really quick before we go back over to the house. I don't know how much quartz we have, so we might have to pop into the nether, but let's go check because I want to make those experience enhancements for upstairs in the mob farms. Okay, and I just gotta get the lead too. That was embarrassing. But I also want to grab this stuff to work on the pathways as well. So we need to also get all of that like limestone and stone brick and cobblestone and gravel and all that stuff. I also want to add some flowers outside, and I'm kind of stuck between the peonies and the roses. I feel like I love the roses for that like dark pinkish red hue, but peonies kind of match the house better. I don't know. I'll have to think about it as we're kind of riding through here. Ouch, I did not mean to hit the barn roof. Also, in the interest of time, because we are coming up at, I think, almost 3 hours of recording time soon, I just want to take a quick second once we're here and kind of organize my backpacks, get all the stuff that I don't need out. And so, yeah, I'm going to do that really quick, and then I will bring you guys right back when I'm fully done with everything. All right, so while I'm grabbing some of these floor blocks here for the pathway, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is that we're mostly kind of organized a little bit. It's not great, but it'll do. I already spent like 5 minutes on this, and yeah, I will sort in between episodes as I usually do. And you know what? I always do start my backpack looking nice. So no, I don't want to see anyone in the comments saying otherwise. And in the meanwhile, while I was sorting, I have decided to use peonies over at the house, but I only have 2 nether quartz right now, so I am going to have to go to the nether really quick and get some more for all of the easy mob farm stuff. And for the experience enhancement, we are going to need lapis and quartz, so we're going to need to go get a couple of quartz from the nether for that. But I was also looking at a different thing. Oh, there's a sheep one! That also takes quartz, so okay, we'll get some for that too for eventually. But I was wondering if we could possibly make one of these loot enhancement ones. That's gold and emeralds. Do we have... Oh, we have 10 emeralds. Okay, so we also have 2 emerald blocks. I don't want to use those unless I have to. But yeah, I did have a bunch of quartz in between episodes that I used for the walls of the XP farm, but I only had 2 regular nether quartz left over, which is just not enough. It's not enough to do anything with, really. And before we go anywhere else, I just want to grab one more stack of cobblestone just in case I need a little extra cobble or mossy cobble or whatever. And all of these farms are still chugging along just fine, so that's good. But also, let me know what you guys think of this long play being a little bit more kind of testing on a mod intensive. I mean, sometimes I feel like we do a lot of resource gathering and building. This one's been kind of like the testing the mod and building. Obviously, I'm still trying to figure out these mods in real time unless I've used them before, but I don't really intend this to be like a tutorial type of like let's play or anything. It's just, you know, messing around with a new mod and seeing what we can do with it. But yeah, we're just going to grab up some nether quartz. We might as well just gather some while we're here, and then we will go ahead and hopefully not die to this ghast. I don't know where it is, but we can go right over here to that quartz right there on that dangerous, perilous edge. I feel like no matter how long I've played Minecraft, I still think that the nether unsettles me quite a bit. I think it's just all the lava and like the imminent threat of death. Even when you're playing in peaceful, I feel like it's still so scary because one wrong move on this like perilous, uneven terrain and you are just falling into lava. And that might be warm, but it's not really cozy. I feel like the nether does not give like comfy, cozy, fun vibes. It gives scary. But there are some very pretty blocks that come from here and some very useful items and stuff, and also some cute mobs too. I don't think that striders get talked about enough, but they are so cute. I mean, they're not very useful, but you don't have to be useful to still be cute. But alright, whenever we get the rest of this vein, we are going to go home with it because I don't want to spend any more time than necessary here, and this is our 2nd time coming here today. So I think we just get this last little bit and then we get out because I want to finish my build. And if we are careful enough, no mobs even saw us. Definitely not that ghast and not that skeleton over there that I can see on the right side. And then we can just go back through our safety tunnel. And no one will even know that we were here. We will just be a safe girly on a trip back to our beautiful, beautiful mountain crater. All right, for the second time today, let's go ahead and make a little flex pile. It's not really a flex pile if it's just 24 nether quartz, but you know what I mean. And from that 24 ore, we actually doubled it and we got 48, which is more than enough. I mean, it's not as much as I would have wanted with Fortune 3, I will say that. But for now, it is more than enough. If we ever end up needing any nether quartz in the future, we could always grab a villager, a stonemason, and then crush our quartz with create. Just in case we were ever like absolutely desperate for it and we didn't want to go mining in the nether for it. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that the amount that we have right now is perfectly fine unless we do like a full build out of nether quartz. In which case, send prayers, because gathering a lot of nether quartz takes a lot of time. Alright, buddy, let's hook you up over here once more. Almost done with all of the back and forth today, I promise. I shouldn't promise that, I probably am lying. Alright, so let's go ahead and craft up our enhancements. So we'll open our crafting table. And we need 4, 5 of these upstairs. And then 2 downstairs, because we have enough stuff to make it for all, so why not? And we also need to make that thing with the lapis for the enchantment, or the experience enhancement. I keep wanting to say enchantment, I'm so sorry. And we're just going to make a bunch of those because I don't know if we can put more than one in each one, but I think we can put them in all of them except for the pig ones. So let's go ahead and we'll try this out. So I think we can just right click these on here and then they go in the little slots. Okay, so now this should give us XP bottles as well as giving us more loot in general. All right, and it's not letting me shift these into here, so I guess we do have to just right click them on there. And let's do that for up here as well. So everybody gets 1. And then we also get a loot enhancement 1. That way we get more loot from all these guys. Yep, and now they all have the right kind of stuff, but I'm wondering for this guy, can we put 2 upgrades? Oh, we can. So I guess we'll have to see compared to the number of XP bottles that are in all of the other mobs if this actually works, but we unloaded the area so that I think it starts over the timer here, but that's okay. We'll have to wait and just see what happens, but we're going to take some of these bones out with our peony so we can put some flowers around the house after we sleep. If we were not going outside, I wouldn't have slept there, but since we're going outside, I just want to make sure that we are staying safe and not letting anything spawn on us, because it would actually be the worst at this point if like a creeper came and blew up part of the house. But yeah, I definitely want to just get some of these peonies spread out over here. They kind of complement the pink of the house, but also have like a little bit of a different tone too. And I just feel like I don't use peonies enough compared to like the rose bushes, because I really like the reddish pink of the rose bushes more than I like the pink of the peonies, but I feel like here it kind of works. Let's find another spot for this. Maybe like right here, that would be okay. And I think to fill this like empty space out here, I really just want to go ahead and bone meal and get some like flowers and grass and stuff in here. And of course, you guys already know I am the biggest tall grass hater, so we will be destroying as much of that as we can to not make it look so like overgrown, but just give it a little bit of character. Don't get me wrong, I think tall grass has its places. I just don't like it in spots where it's supposed to look a little bit more kept. Like, it's kind of like perfect for like the edges of a property or like the backyard or like kind of in between stuff. But like where it's like actually kept in like the front and like you're assuming that, you know, the lawn is mowed even though you don't really mow the lawn in Minecraft. I don't want any tall grass out there, you know? Just gonna keep filling in all this kind of empty space here with just a little bit for your eyes to kind of wander over and be like, oh, that's nice. I love that there's all those flowers there. And this area I'm not gonna do too much because we are gonna be building a horse stable here, but just gonna, for now, kind of cover it with a little bit. Also, I'm wondering if we can pick up these plants. Oh, we can. Okay. That is cool to know. We'll have to put these over by the farm area. Those wild emmers. I always forget the name of those. Okay, and now I think next up we are going to work on the pathway. So let's go ahead and grab all of our mossy cobble, our cobble limestone, gravel, all of that stuff out of our backpack. And then I'm going to go ahead here and arrange this all on my hotbar because I think it's just the easiest when you have all of the blocks that you're working with on your hotbar when possible. And I don't think we're going to need any of these other tools while we're doing this. I mean, hopefully no mobs come to attack us. And this is actually really where the planning kind of path blocks that we placed down earlier kind of come into play, because if I had to figure this out, it would take me even longer. But now that I've kind of like already figured it out at least a little bit, I can just replace the blocks that I need to replace. And it just feels like a lot easier to get everything down in a time efficient way. Because sometimes when I am putting down all my blocks and trying to figure out where I want my pathways to go, I overthink it a little bit. And I know that's probably surprising coming from me, you know, someone who never overthinks anything, but definitely this helps me, I feel. And sometimes when I am planning stuff, I like to use wool blocks and plan out like little buildings and pathways and stuff that way. But honestly, in a pinch, the path blocks will be more than enough. And sometimes even just using cobble to like outline a building, that is so helpful. All right, but that's enough yapping for me for now. So I'm gonna just be quiet for a second and get this pathway put in. We'll probably bring it back a little bit further than what we currently have, but yeah, let's just get this fully in. Oh yeah, a little voice jump scare to say this is starting to come together. I love how this is starting to like turn right here. This is winding very nicely. Next up on the agenda, let's grab our sawmill here so we can start to make some of our typical fences so we can place those around with some of the lanterns on top. I wanted to say torches, but obviously these are not torches, they are lanterns, so I couldn't remember the word right for a second. If I had to choose a favorite part of making a build, I feel like making the pathways around my build is actually my favoriteest part. There is just something so nice about, you know, putting down a little rustic, rundown pathway with some leaves and some lanterns and some broken down fences and stuff that just really gives a lot of coziness to an area. And I never really used to be this way, but in the last couple of years, I have really enjoyed the concept of my world being connected by pathways. And now I'm just absolutely obsessed with having just cute, well-lit, kind of, you know, cozy pathways. I feel like they just add so much to a world. Like there's so much storytelling and lore implications that you can do with pathways. Oops, I did not mean to place that there. Let me grab that with our shears. And let's pop into FreeCam really quick to take a quick overview of the house. Oh yeah, that pathway really makes it. I love that. And if we just take a quick look here at the map, that is looking super cutie. This is a really great start here compared to the other side of the lake to like this side of the lake. Now it is a little bit of a deal higher than that, but it wasn't really my intention to make it up here next to the amethyst tower. It's just kind of like where it all was. But as far as the outside of the house goes and the decoration out there, I think that that's pretty much good. There is kind of one other thing that I want to do today before we like end, and that is to go into our backpack here. Is it this one? No, it's the other one. And I want to grab some of this clay that we have and break this down into clay balls so we can smelt it into bricks. That way we can pop around a couple of flower pots and help the decoration situation that's going on in here because, well, it is not great. Also, I completely forgot that we had this Swift Sneak book sitting in my backpack as well. But luckily we do have an anvil upgrade in there, so we can go ahead and put that onto our pants. And there we go! Swift Sneak 3, Unbreaking 3, and Mending. Nice! And now if we put those back on, we can go ahead and test it out. We are sneaking a lot faster. And if you guys know me, I love Swift Sneak 3 for building. I mean, looting is the obvious one. Like, looting is a lot better when you are faster, but building is so much better when you're faster. Now, in this backpack, we do have a couple of different flowers. So we've got these white tulips, and we've got some of these red ones as well. Oh, and we also have this crimson fungus. Maybe we should use that just to like kind of tie in with all the pink. We can put all this other stuff away really quick. Sorry, I don't really know exactly what to do while I'm kind of waiting. I feel like we don't really have that much to do. I should have probably put these into smelt like while we were doing the other thing, but I completely forgot. Ooh, I just had another idea. So let's go ahead and we'll turn some of these into composters. And then we can put around some decorations down here with some leaves. Just to give a little bit of color on the inside of this because it is a little bit weird and plain. Interiors are still not my strong suit, but I think that'll probably be my focus in 2026 is trying to get better with doing all the interior design stuff that makes up a good build. That isn't to say that my actual builds, like the outsides, are good enough to stop practicing for that either. That's definitely not what I'm saying, but my interiors do leave a little bit to be desired, at least for myself personally. And I try to shoot for some kind of goal for myself. Whoa. That gives off like a really weird pink light. Let's put that over here in the corner. I didn't realize that that was going to give off a light like that. I don't know if I like that now. Yeah, we'll just go with the tulips. But yeah, as I was saying, I definitely want to try to get a little bit better at my interiors in the next year. And I feel like setting a little bit of a goal for myself definitely helps me out in that way. I always see these like really cool kind of like divided rooms that people do on Pinterest and stuff. And maybe I need to like study that a little bit just to figure out kind of like a better way to imagine my spaces. And unfortunately up here, the way that it's kind of set up right now, we don't have a ton of space for a bunch of decorations because I don't know what we're going to end up putting up here in the future. But I guess for now, this is looking at least a little bit better than it was. Especially because we're probably going to be expanding this as we get more cards. These are just the ones that we had, so... Oh, by the way, I do also want to check on our mobs. We've got bottles of enchanting. Nice. Oh my gosh, we've already got 2 from that one. 1 from here. None from him. None from the creeper. Oh, 2 from this guy as well. The pillager. I keep forgetting that it's called the pillager. But this is just such a great mod. Now that I've had a little bit of a time to play with it, like we are farming so many things that I don't have to actively farm myself. It's just kind of passively farming for us in the background, which is awesome. I definitely can't complain about that. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. I don't really have anything else on my to-do list that we haven't done in this episode. And I feel like right now this is as much progress as we're going to be able to really make with this. In between episodes, like I said, am going to do a stream where I decorate inside of the XP farm and fix this up. I've got to get this looking good and fix up there at the top because I think that will look better if it matches. And we have so many blocks to work with now that it's been growing for a while. But yeah, beyond that, the zombies are spawning, so they'll be here. Let's leave because they are quite loud. But beyond that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I know I've been away for a while, and I just want to thank you guys for your patience and all the kind words of support and encouragement that I've seen coming through. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video today. Really, really appreciate it. And I had so much fun building up this cozy pink mob farm cottage together. It was such a blast. So that's going to be it for me today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. And hello. I bet you thought that the video was going to be over at this moment, and the last time that I recorded, I thought that too. This is something that I have never done in a video before after I've like ended recording, but I am coming back today to record something because I have realized a couple things. While I was editing this long play, I realized 2 things. One is that we never named our horses. I completely forgot about it by the end of the long play. And while I was listening back to the long play, I was like, oh my gosh, I never named them. So I had a bunch of awesome comment suggestions and I have them all on name tags right here, which we will be getting to. But the other thing that I realized is that the build needs some work. And specifically, I want to point out the roof here because it's a little bit plain and I don't normally leave a build that plain on the roof. So I want to kind of come back and give it a little bit of character before I fully call this video done. Because I just really don't like it and I don't want to put it on the channel when I don't like it. So yeah, we are coming back today. It's been a few months since I last recorded here and there are a few changes that have happened, like these pathways over here, which I will go into. But this is a little bit weird. I've never done this kind of thing before, so bear with me here. This is also kind of strange and awkward for me a little bit, but yeah. Let's go ahead and get to the first item on our agenda, which is going to be naming our horses. So this is our main awesome horse, and I want to name this horse Lilypad, just because I feel like it really fits in with the Frogcrafting theme. And we have 2 other horses to name that I got names for in the comments, and you guys gave some awesome suggestions. So I just wanted to say thank you guys so much. You always have like the best ideas, and I appreciate you guys helping me out with naming some of my animals. How did I miss the horse while I was trying to lead it? That is embarrassing. Double embarrassing right now, but our next horse here, this is going to be Iris. And the final horse over here, this is, if I can get up here, going to be Elderbloom. I love this one in two ways because it reminds me of Palia, which I have talked about a lot on this channel, but also it kind of gives me Faebloom Valley vibes, like maybe the lore of Faebloom Valley. But thank you guys so much once again for all of the awesome name suggestions. I am so happy with them, and I hope that you guys like them as well. And now, as I mentioned, I did do a live stream where I worked on some pathways. That was weird. What? Why are we having like a little bit of a weird buggy horse moment when we go up the stairs? Well, I guess we'll have to try to ignore that, even though it's very annoying to look at. I'm so sorry. I don't understand what is happening. If we watch this in F5, what is happening? Oh, it looks like the horse is like getting stuck and then like fixing itself over and over again. I don't really know what that's all about. Anyways, we do have a pathway all the way up to the front of the XP farm now, and it is all lit up and everything through all here. We don't have to worry about creepers or anything, except for maybe up there where I didn't light it up. But what I am thinking about for the roof over here is maybe to add a couple of dormer windows. I was thinking about doing a tower, but I'm not really convinced of that just because of the chimney on the other side. I don't want it to look unbalanced and weird, so I'm gonna see how I feel after I add some dormers, and then we'll decide if we're adding a tower as well. But yeah, also I'm so sorry that this video took so long to come out. I just was so busy this summer. I know that I've already said that, but it just got even wilder and wilder and wilder, and I hope to be a little bit more active going forward. I'm trying to work my way back into it. I finally have a schedule that works for me, and I'm taking the time to record right now, which I'm thinking is a good sign. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and we're going to tower up here with some moss, and I want to kind of plan out what the dormer windows are going to look like, but I need to figure out kind of what space we're working with first. Down there we had 5 spaces, but if we go up here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So on this level, if we did 2 and then a block and then 2 and then a block, we could do like a little 3 wide dormer window and kind of build this up a little bit. Sorry, I haven't played Minecraft in a while, so you guys are gonna have to deal with my unfortunately horrible, awkward jumping that I'm doing right now. I'm so sorry. This is like so embarrassing actually. But then we would just bring this up a little bit more, and that would kind of be the top of it. And then we make this shape work. Maybe if we bring it down one more, like if we put a block here, for instance, and then there would be that one over there, and then that could kind of flare out a little bit. Is that something that looks like a window? Oops, I actually wanted to remove the leaves. I did not want to remove that moss, and then we can kind of bring this out a little bit more just to give it a little bit more of a definition in the roof. And then let's go ahead, we'll take a step back here and pop into FreeCam really quick and just see what that kind of looks like. Oh yeah, that's better. I think even if we move this whole thing like up 1 block, yeah, even just like 1 block itself or 1 section by itself will look so much better. Yeah, I definitely think that moving it up a couple of blocks is going to be helpful here to keep it more centered in the roof and give it a little bit more character. You know what? Instead of breaking this down, I'm going to leave this here, and then we're going to go to the other side of the roof and make another outline in the new spot that we were talking about. And let's see if that actually does look better, and we can kind of compare instead of just like being like, oh yeah, that definitely looks better and it looks worse, you know? Okay. So I think we started on this level, but let's just double check really quick. Okay, so we started on this level, so we need to start on that level with this leaf block here, or leaf block. And then I need to kind of just build myself a little bit of a scaffold here and figure out how to get up here in a more effective way. Because currently right now, this is getting a little bit embarrassing, like things are just falling everywhere. I'm just not... You know, I haven't played Minecraft in a while, guys, so please don't roast me in the comments. I'm doing my best, I promise. But let's just build up the same outline that we had on the other side, but just a little bit higher than the previous one. And we'll just bring this down and make this look like it's matching on both sides. And then we can get rid of my little scaffolding that I made over here and get rid of this a little bit as well. And we'll head inside really quick so that we can free cam safely. And if we look at this now, okay, I just gotta say, I do like that right side a lot better than the left side because it has a little bit of a height difference. It gives a little bit of offset from what we have in the front there. It is gonna be a little bit high, which I don't know if I love, but maybe it won't be that big of a deal. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Wait, looking at this, I just realized I forgot glass for the windows, but I do think that these will help the roof have a little bit more character and be more interesting, because in the nicest way possible, Frogcrafting, it looked a little bit boring before, and sometimes when you take a break from something and come back with fresh eyes, it can really give you perspective on how to improve something. And before we start building on the roof there, I do want to go inside and sleep so that way we're not attacked by any skeletons or anything. And I have a sleeping bag somewhere. Yep, there it is. So let's go ahead and take care of that. And now that we know that no creepers are going to somehow get onto the roof and attack us, let's get up there and get to work. I don't have a ton to talk about in this video since I've come back, just because I feel like I could talk for 7 years about just everything that I've done this summer and all the stuff that was going on, but we don't really have time for all of that, I don't think. So as we get into the building part of this and I kind of focus up, if I am a little bit quiet, that's why, because there's a lot I want to talk to you guys about, but just not enough time, I think, for the end of this to get through everything I have to say. So we'll save it for next time. For now, we're going to take our spruce planks and we're going to try to replace this front layer of the moss outline here, as I think having this little outline sticking out will help us kind of determine the spaces that we need to remove on the roof that exists already, and also have a good way to attach it directly to the roof. It's kind of got something to already stick out to. And then everything in the middle of that, we will just go ahead and remove, because that will probably make it easier to line up the rest of this. And I'm going to have to remove this too. And then this part right here with the outline, we are going to fill in with our crimson planks. We're going to fill that all the way back. It'll also give us more stuff that we've got to remove once we get everything connected up. And here I am, just going to have to break every single block in the universe that we just placed a couple months ago. Even though it definitely feels like a lot longer ago than I first recorded this video. Okay, and instead of this crimson here, I'm thinking maybe we connect this up to the spruce, not the calcite. I meant to place the spruce there, like that. And then if we have a spruce stair, we can kind of connect that up in the middle. That way it gives it the same kind of look there. I like that. And then this can go back to being a stair right here. And that side is looking okay, but now we just got to do the inside bit. Gonna just remove some of this. It's looking a little bit awkward, and that's also looking awkward, but that's fine. I've got to figure out how are we going to actually place our window. I'm really wondering, is it just going to be as simple as just kind of filling in all of this like so, and then ignoring it on the inside and just pretending that it doesn't exist on the inside? But how does it look from the outside? Oh wait, that's actually kind of cute. My first impression, definitely think that it is better. It's more interesting and it has a lot more shape now that you can see from the side. If you look past this moss over here, it's definitely better than the other side that it used to be. It does need some texture, which we will take care of course. We won't leave it just as pure calcite. But luckily, I did bring over as many of the blocks as I could remember that we had, because I think I just forgot the glass. I don't have any in the smelting. Yeah. We're gonna have to go for another awkward horse ride to get some more of that. All right, let's go outside and see what it's looking like from the front. And oops, I did not need to go down this far. Why can I not go up? Oh my goodness. I'm still so used to those making a sound that it's weird to me that they don't make a sound, so I never know if I'm actually like on the right floor because I usually count how many like swooshes it makes. All right, also something that I do want to kind of add to this as well, I want to take some of our dark oak logs to try to mimic the effect that we have on the sides and just strip those underneath our spruce logs. Did I say logs? I meant planks. I definitely meant planks. I did not mean logs, but as you can see here, it kind of matches the aesthetic of what we had originally a little bit more than just the pure plankage. And then I think out here out front, I really like to add a little bit of leaves, but maybe we could do these cherry leaves instead of the green ones, just for like a little bit of kind of a different color, kind of breaking up the roof, and it's still pink. And then of course I'm gonna add some signs here, but we've got a lot of options. I think maybe these crimson sides will look nice. We'll try this out. We can always replace them if we don't like them. And let's grab this stuff and jump down. We'll grab our moss too. I should have jumped on the moss and broke it to come down. Let's take a step back here. Oh yeah, I really, really like that. That is so, so cute. And I really like the cherry leaves as well, kind of being a little bit different than the oak leaves. I think we are definitely cooking in the right direction here, chat. We have the chat. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I said chat. I felt like I was streaming for a second. I was gonna make some kind of like witty comment like, oh, we have the right temperature, we have the right recipe, we have the right tools and spices, and instead I said chat, so I lost my train of thought, which it's not a great look for me as a person who consistently loses her train of thought. So I think I'm gonna remove all these old pieces and leave the new pieces behind, and then get this, you know, dormer window put on the roof and kindly mind my own business and be quiet for a minute. So enjoy the building vibes, and I will talk to you guys in a second. Okay, coming back in with a little bit of a jump scare of my voice, sorry, but I want to go add these trapdoors to the underside of the flowers or the leaves on the other side. And we've got to use our moss here because I keep forgetting to chop down my bamboo. It's still over there to make scaffolding. But I didn't know that I wanted these trapdoors, but now that I have them, I think I like those a lot there on the bottom. But I know that we're not quite done yet, but I just want to say thank you guys for enduring this awkward ending part of the video because it looks a lot better now than it looked when I thought that I was finished before. Usually the long plays are kind of appealing to people because it's all usually one take or like a couple of cuts when you're like, you know, walking forever, but it definitely needed this little bit of coming back and fixing it. Now, this is almost fully done besides going to get the glass. So we also need to add these spruce fences and gates and stuff that we had up here. So let's go ahead and grab some of those and we'll grab some gates. That way, once we place these on everything, it'll kind of all be consistent. Although that is a stair right there. And I just definitely think we should fix that so that is more consistent. And then right here, if I could place the fence, that is, we'll do fence, fence gate, and then fence. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side and match that up with the vibe of the rest of the roof. Now, on the inside, this is going to look like a complete mess. But what do I always say? We are minding our own business. That is not our business. We are only there to pick up mob drops. But it looks so much better from the outside. Wow. This is definitely a note to myself, but I really need to start incorporating some more dormer windows into my builds because you can really spice up a build and make it look completely different by just adding a few little dormer windows. They're actually not as hard as I thought they would be to make. I feel like that's why I never want to make them, is I always kind of overestimate how hard they're going to be. And I just freehanded those completely without even thinking about what I was going to do. Oh, there was a zombie. Oh my gosh, leave me and Lilypad alone. I am talking right now, but yeah, I just freehanded those and it took like less than what, 15 minutes, and they look so much better. So this is just me encouraging you guys to also try things that are kind of outside of your comfort zone or that you don't normally do, because sometimes you can have a really weird horse glitch and other times you might actually like the end result. But for now, we're going to go ahead and sleep, grab our glass, put the glass in, and that will be the real end of this video because I just don't think we can fit anything else in there. But wow, look at how much better that looks. It is so good. I genuinely cannot believe how much I like this now when I was really unhappy with it when I was watching back the footage before. And that pretty much completely changed in like the course of 15 minutes. Okay, so we are here for our sand and glass. We need some of these pink planes, but we don't need 11. We just need 4. Yeah, there we go. And we'll have to grab our bed. Wait, we are actually in the house, so we can just sleep in our normal bed and we don't have to sleep on the floor. All right, Lilypad. Now for the real last time of this video, it is finally the last trip over to the new build. We're putting our finishing final touches on it, and then we are calling this video done. I'm gonna have to figure out why this horse glitch thing is happening as well, so I'll be looking at that in between comments. If you guys have any ideas, if you've ever seen this before, please let me know what you think is going on. I'm wondering if it's the modded stairs, but I can't see why that the horses wouldn't be able to walk on them. But yeah, I'll do some testing and hopefully we can figure out why that's happening. All right, Lilypad, just chill here for a little bit. We're almost done for today. And also, by the way, while I was over here building up while I was streaming, this stuff was really accumulating. We've got quite a bit of items here. And up here as well, these mobs have been cooking. This guy really doesn't produce anything but XP. We've kind of confirmed that now at this point. So The rest of these guys are also giving quite a few items, and this was just a couple of hours while I was over here working on the downstairs XP farm area. And we even have more than 1 stack of ender pearls, which is going to be very important, as I explained earlier in the video about like upgrading all of our stuff. But yeah, just figured I would give you guys a little bit of a progress update on the loot situation up here. But yeah, with that all done, I think that there's just one thing left to do today, and that's to say goodbye and thank you so much for watching. I really like how... Wait, it's a little bit dark up there. Do you think maybe we should add some lanterns above the windows of the dormers that we just made? No, not spruce. We used dark oak on the other ones, right? Yeah, we did. So if we add them right there, I feel like that'll just light up the windows a little bit. This is genuinely the video that is never ending because every single time I try to say goodbye to you guys, I'm like, actually, there's one more thing that I want to work on, and that turns into one more thing and one more thing and one more thing. It's like playing Stardew Valley. You can never just play like one day of Stardew Valley. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'll cook dinner after this one more day. Oh, I'll do that after one more day. Oh, hello. What do you got today, buddy? You've got some really cute little mob head or mini heads here, but nothing that I can afford because I am currently completely broke. So yeah, enjoy the valley. I really need to figure out a way to get emeralds at some point. Maybe on a stream I will bring over a couple of villagers. I don't want to have too many villagers. I don't want to get that in depth to this, but maybe just for a couple of these upgrades and stuff where we're going to need emeralds, I will bring a couple over. We can have something low-key like a farmer or something because we have all those crops over there to trade. But all right, let's grab this last lantern over here and place that up at the top. And then we're for real going to be done today. Well, I say today. The original recording was a couple months ago. But for the stuff that we're fixing up now, hopefully we don't have to add the tower on like we talked about. Hopefully this is enough and this is cute. Oh yeah, I really like that. All right, for real now. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode today. I'm so sorry that this video took so long to come out, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye!